You did. It stopped the recording.
Oh, stupid thing. All I did was plug the computer.
But see, if you have a good editing app thing, then that won't matter because you could just stitch them together.
Yeah. So I do have on my camera setting itself, where I can take different videos and turn them into like one video and do like a transition in between them, like I did with the Leavenworth stream. But I haven't done it in the editing app that I downloaded.
It's a weird place to pause. I haven't done it in the nude. But you said new, but because it was like mid-stop, it sounded like you said I haven't done it in the nude. Like making Jen's journal naked.
Yep.
But you could have. Nobody would have known.
Not in that chair.
You have to peel yourself off of it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I've never been so grateful for cooling seats. Because losing half of the back of my thighs to that bug every summer. I miss that car though.
What slippers should I wear? I'm gonna wear my Chippendale slippers. Chippendale.
Except the new one. The new one's terrible.
There's a new Chippendale?
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It's not, maybe it's just terrible because I'm biased.
Could be.
Because like a lot of the actual style is very similar to the original Chippendale, but it's like new and updated animation, so to me it just they don't mesh well to me personally. Like if you're gonna reboot the animation, reboot the whole thing. That's
well, coming
opinion.
from somebody that does digital art, I'm sure you have a different
perspective.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, apparently I'm gonna have to keep
I got a ponytail. We just strap it in.
Adjusting. Right now, you focused on trying to get my slippers unopened.
I would offer you my scissors, but they're buried in the back right now.
So are mine.
Yep, it's just slowly.
I got new slippers. Whee!
Yeah, you can take your shoes off. Go ahead. Well, I didn't mean throw them, but
Let's see. Let's try that. Oopsie, there's man. They put a lot of these stupid plastic things. They're like everywhere.
I wonder if they started doing that because people were taking them off the packaging, so they made it like ridiculously stupid.
Probably. I said there was a cute pair of like little black ones. And I was like, oh, those are cute. Maybe I'll just get a single pair. Because this was a twofer. So they're Aristocats is the other pair. But what it was somebody had taken them off. And it was a Christmas set. So one of them was like the ones that I saw was more like a Christmas present, like a wrapped present, and then the other one was the other pair was Santa Claus.
It's even like it bugs the absolute crap out of me that the Cricket section has had so many problems that they keep all of their vinyls and stuff in a lockbox now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and me being a very visual, I mean, that thing has to be right up in my face for me to decide whether or not I like the way it looks. I can't, like, grab them, I can't touch them, I can't look at them, and it bugs the ever-loving daylights out of me.
And you're textural, too.
Yeah. Which, let's be honest, I might have been part of the problem there, because they don't seal the boxes, so I used to just pop them open to feel the vinyl. If I didn't like it, I'd close it back up and put it back. Like, they don't wrap them in plastic on the inside, they don't tape the boxes closed or anything. Maybe I shouldn't admit that, but it's like I didn't damage it. I didn't damage the boxes at all. I just wanted to feel what the vinyl felt like.
Oh man, and now you just have to buy sight unseen.
Yeah, and that bugs me.
I can't believe how much my stomach still hurts today. I had a stomach ache for like 3 days.
That's no. And I do have water in my trunk, so. If you so needed, there is water and an unopened Gatorade in my trunk too. I think it's unopened. And I have a brick of ibuprofen in my glove box.
Sweet.
It's all or nothing. You can't pick them apart. It's a brick. Okay, just set it aside then. You can save it for later.
She's like, where am I supposed to sit?
But because I leave a bottle,
Okay, well, she ate all of her french fries
okay,
and none of her burger.
I leave a bottle of ibuprofen in my glove box. But
I'm going to wrap your hamburger back up, Kate.
because I was not the one that supplied the ibuprofen, I didn't know what kind of what the actual pill looked like. Apparently they're the coated ones, and they melt in the heat.
Oh.
So all of my ibuprofens melted together.
Well, that's going to make dosing challenging.
So you look in there, and not only are they all stuck together, but like the coatings, half of the coatings missing. They're all like melded together. It's kind of funny. But
Probably ought to just like throw those away.
yeah, you would think that I would have done that when I cleaned out my car, but
Yeah. It's not really a safe way to dose those.
yeah. Because it's like, even if I manage to like pick them apart, they're coated, or they're supposed to be coated. So even just taking them without the coating, I don't know.
Well, are they coated because they're time release, or are they coated for the ease of the stomach?
Honestly, I have no idea. I avoid taking pills at any cost. So. It's probably a good thing that I turned the volume down, because apparently my phone wants to listen to ICP. It shocks me how many of those lyrics I still remember.
My tootsies are getting warm.
All your viewers are going to see how crooked I drive. Blame the rain.
Blame the rain. I'm gonna get some mini tootsies.
Oh,
Oh,
Sanaya.
and some mini tootsie rolls. Tootsie tootsie. No kiki. No kiki.
Some fish, you're touching my foot.
Huh?
Some fish, you're touching my foot. I kick you in my wall. That's what she's thinking, I bet.
Probably.
Hey, looky there. Apollo, you get free advertising.
I did a fart.
You did a fart.
Oh, she so belongs in this family.
Hey.
Did you hear that?
Yeah,
What was it?
that's my fart.
Just my fart.
One thing is for certain, I am not raising prissy, rainbow, glittery unicorn girls. Not that there's anything wrong with it. That's just not gonna be my kid. She's my dirt and bugs and Tonka trucks, and I'm cool with that.
What you singing?
It's a song called "Bug the Heck Out of Mom Until She Pays Attention to Me."
Haven't heard that song in 23 years.
Consider yourself lucky. you gotta listen to the grandma song. Grandma, 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 grandma. Not sure where she found the L in that word, but
who knows? Bird.
oh,
I gotta chill. What?
chili willy. Is your willy chili?
I don't know. Is your willy chilly?
Sometimes.
See, I forgot it that, like I said, it feels weird to be in this car. I don't think I've been in this car in like,
How long have we had it?
I know, it's
2 years, 3 years?
When you guys started buying it from us?
Feels about right. 2.5.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, feels weird to me.
Well, especially in the passenger seat, I'd
Oh,
imagine.
hi, State Patrol.
Because you've always been in the driver's seat. I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm doing the speed limit.
Well, and Dad would drive, I would be in the passenger
Yeah.
seat. But yeah, trying to remember. Oh yeah, this has dual control heat. Oh yeah, this has heated seats. I can make myself all kind of toasty, and it doesn't affect anybody else. Anybody else? Anybody
Hello.
else?
Is there anybody in there? I guess is what he said. I said out there, but just not if you can hear me. Is there anyone home?
Stand up. Information first.
Just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts? There is no pain you won't see. The amount of people that just like, because working where I used to work, I was usually around the generation above me. So, whatever, I think it's Gen X that's in between the boomers and the millennials.
Yeah, I think so.
They'd come in and I'd know every single lyric. Every time somebody sang a Pink Floyd song, I knew every single word, beat for beat. And that it just cracked me up how many people would go,
You were raised by a Floyd parent, so.
David, he's like, oh, I'm glad you like them or whatever. And he's like, but I'm not a huge fan of their music and whatever. And I was like, the only people who I have ever met in my life who don't like Pink Floyd is because they don't connect with it the way that I do. And everybody who I've met who likes Pink Floyd is because they feel like this deep connection to it. And it's like, whereas most people, you can listen to a song and be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's fun. That's catchy. Like Pink Floyd, I feel like it's black and white. You either like it or you don't, because you either feel it or you don't, type of thing.
Yeah.
They are very obscure, so I can understand. I don't ever judge people for not liking Pink Floyd, because they are very deep and obscure. So I'm like, it's not for everybody. But yeah. Goodbye Blue Sky. That's what started that conversation, because David being a veteran, I was listening to the full Wall album on loop, and he walked right in and his Goodbye Blue Sky came on, and I was like, if you're gonna like any of them, it's gonna be this one. And he's like, yeah, that one he's like, that one gave me chills, and that's why I listen to them.
That's a good song.
Yes.
Oh, shizzle.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't admit it with my mom in the car, but I mean, you know me well enough now, but I used to just get hammered. I'd get to the bottom of a bottle and just lay in my bed listening to Pink Floyd all night.
What? You drink? No way.
No, I've never touched a drop of alcohol in my life. But I would imagine, because I was never into hard drugs, never appealed to me, but I would imagine how fantastic, almost euphoric I would feel if I were into hard drugs listening to Pink Floyd. Because even just being drunk and listening to them, I'm like, it felt like being on another flippin' planet. But I don't need drugs because I get that feeling from music, so.
Right. Aha. I'm like, what is going on here?
It's in your seatbelt.
I have buckled my charging cord into my seatbelt.
I say I don't need drugs, but I'm a caffeine addict who also drinks alcohol. Totally didn't buy 5 coffees for a 3-hour trip. A triple shot and 4 doubles. Not a caffeine addict at all.
No. It's the legal drug.
And it's realistically the only one I need.
What is the deal with this cord?
That would be Mina's tablet cord.
Right.
So it's fucked. It's gotten closed in this thing. It's gotten closed indoors. It's gotten pinched. It's been dropped.
Looks like it's been chewed on.
Yep.
By some little 4-year-old teen.
Yep. And that's why it stays in my room now. So whenever she needs her tablet charged, she has to bring it to me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm surprised this thing still works.
Yeah, no kidding.
Fortunately, it's just
Micro.
standard micro.
It's like Emma hasn't been able to use her tablet because she lost her charger and won't even look for it.
Well, clearly she doesn't want to play with
Exactly. And she gets mad at me because I won't charge it for her. I was like, I told you that was the condition to getting the tablets, is that I have veto, or I should say the parents have veto. They get to take it away whenever they feel necessary without argument. And it doesn't matter which parent. I don't care who says it. If one of them tells you to put it away, you put it away. And the other deal on her part was that she is fully responsible for it. Like, I'm not keeping track of your charger. I'm not keeping track of your tablet. The only thing I do is approve what apps she can play.
Well, and really, I mean, she's 7. She's old enough to...
She's 8.
Or 8, sorry. I keep forgetting she just had a birthday. She's definitely old enough to, like, keep track of her stuff.
Yeah, and she knows 100% where her tablet is all the time. With the exception of now, probably because her tablet is in my car. But I think it's still under your seat, actually. But,
it's not like you live in a mansion.
yeah. And, you know, when we first got the tablets, one of the very first things that I told her was, if you keep your tablet and your charger together, they'll be very hard to lose. She didn't want to listen, so...
You want your cheeseburger? There's chanting from the back seat. I want snacks. I want snacks.
You can have your cheeseburger, or you can have nothing. No. You want your cheeseburger? Okay.
Got it? Okay. That was a heavy hamburger, apparently.
We're finally getting progress on that flippin'... I don't know why that reminded me of the little, like, workaround highway thing that they're doing over there by Loudon and Tucci to skip those two towns. It's drivable.
Really?
I won't do it because I don't think you're supposed to, but there's enough road there to be driven on now. And
Yeah.
I saw cars driving on it, but I'm not going to be the one to find out you're not supposed to be driving on it.
Right. Because it could have been, worker
Yeah.
vehicles. That's going to be cool to be able to, like, stay at highway speed
Uh-huh.
and not have to slow down to 35 miles an hour twice on the highway.
Yeah. Well, and especially now, for you guys, well, I guess for all of us, it doesn't really matter because we don't usually travel unless it's the weekend. But it's 20 through Tucci on the weekdays because it's a school zone. So you get to go 40, 60, 20, 60. It's like, I can't wait for that.
And it's just a matter of time for, that they'll develop all that because, for now there's not going to be like a gas station out there.
Yeah. You'll still have to go to Tucci for gas.
So you're going to have to definitely know, you know, making sure you're legit doing those vehicle checks like you should. Everybody should be doing before they go on a trip anyway. But definitely until they get some gas stations out on the new highway.
See, and I want one that skips that stupid junction altogether. Personally, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
Because Wallula Junction's awful. I hate it.
There is a back way,
but it's so long.
It is very long, and it's kind of the same situation with this, you know, with the new highway. It's like once you take it, you're screwed if anything happens, because there's no gas stations out there. You lose cell service out that, you know.
Because I think,
and there's nothing. There's not even houses. You couldn't even like walk for a little bit, knock on somebody's door, and get help. Like, there's nothing.
Yeah,
but empty.
Because I think the back way, I think Colotis attaches to Waitsburg in the long run. I know it's like a super long,
something like that.
But I think it's Colotis and Waitsburg that have a connecting road. But that's 2-3 cities that I have to go over. Like, I could just drive straight from Walla to the Tri-Cities.
Yeah. Rather
than, I'm leaving Walla, I'm going to go to Waitsburg and then go through 4 cities to get to Colotis, to drop on the highway, to go through Burbank. And then it's like...
The only real benefit it's nice to not have to deal with all the traffic.
Yeah.
But in reality, I mean, on the rare occasion, you get stuck in traffic on that drive. But, you know...
Well, and the main road's going to be nice as hell, because once they're done doing that, everybody's going to be using it. So the highway's going to be nice and clear.
Yep. Yep. You know, it's nice. It's probably not the right word there. But when you drive the back way into Walla, is that you drive by the prison.
Yes.
So you get to see the prison a little up close and personal.
See, and it's so weird because
it always cracks me up when you're driving by prisons and stuff, when you see the signs on the side of the road that
don't
say,
pick up hitchhikers.
Don't pick up hitchhikers. It's like...
Because David thinks, and I can say this to you, and I know I've said it to you before, but you think very similar. I guess I think very similar to you. So it doesn't feel so weird saying it to you, but David thinks I'm insane. Because we have the Green River Killer in there.
Right.
I just want to talk to him. I want to pick his brain. I want to go in. You're not allowed to, obviously. But I would love just to go in there and pick his brain.
Not as just you'd have to have like a journal.
Yeah.
Journalist pass or whatever.
And it's, not to romanticize anything that he did, but the serial killer mind fascinates me.
Called Gary Ridgway.
Yeah. And we looked up who the other one was, but I keep forgetting.
I know, at one point there was like 3. Yeah. There was like 3 different guys there.
Which is crazy.
I've known a lot of people that have gone and did time at Walla Walla State Pen, but none that were serial murderers.
It's like me and the word wasp. Wasps. You're a wasp. I'm a boss? Yeah, I know.
The eye roll was strong with that one.
Oh, absolutely. She'll learn eventually that we're a family of lady bosses. I'm not just talking about work. Nope, she's a take no shit being raised by a take no shit who was raised by a take no shit.
Who was raised by a piece of shit.
Which is why you're a take no shit, to be honest, probably.
That was my alarm telling me to post. You're getting
post
ready.
Post to Instagram.
You're getting ready to go live. Post. Don't forget to post to your IG.
See, and I think that's why I got confused, because your TikTok post still said scheduled 1 o'clock when I looked at it, and it could have been given me last week's or something, and it was just now showing it to me because TikTok does that sometimes.
Yeah,
but
I didn't post because I was knew I was going to go live, but I didn't schedule it ahead of time because I was working on the PowerPoint still.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how long it was going to take me to put it together. So I'm like, I don't want to schedule it and then not be done and then have to change the time and change the time and change the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just going to wait till I have this done and then I'll just go live.
I wonder if that dude knows he's driving with his blinker on.
Do you think that guy cares that he's driving with his blinker on?
I don't know. He is also doing like 45 miles an hour, so.
In a 60.
Yeah. Maybe it's supposed to be a hazard and his other lights are just broken.
That could be. Could be.
Because he seemed to be going very consciously slow.
Maybe.
And if I can turn my windshield wipers off.
Yay! The rain has stopped.
If the Corsica had taught me anything, and the shitty Taurus, not you, you're fine. I've been that person who was stuck doing 45 miles an hour down the highway. So maybe benefit of the doubt, maybe his car wasn't working the way it was supposed to.
Maybe. Gotta remember, once upon a time, our rabbit rig was getting passed by Volkswagen buses going up hills.
Oh yeah. In my stupid Volvo.
I'm like, yeah, now your vehicle has a problem when a Volkswagen can pass you on a hill.
Well, and I found it funny.
Oh, look, there's a Superman.
I can't look too long. Oh, yeah, there is. Driving that stupid Volvo that literally every time I turned too sharp, there would be pieces that would fall out of it.
The craptastic.
Yeah. But, like, that's a funny story. But, I was driving to your house one day and there was this jackhole revving his engine, pretending he's hot shit in his little stupid Mustang that sounded like a freaking lawnmower, thinking, you know, dude,
Thank you.
got past. Yay!
Not bad.
Oh,
She ate one half of her bun.
it smells like fart.
It smells like fart.
Doesn't it?
The hamburger?
I don't know, but something smells like ass. But I passed this Mustang dude.
It could be the town we're coming up on.
Yeah.
It tends to have a...
It smells like ass. Jeez. I don't. You put boogies on your hamburger? I'd believe it.
Yeah, that's not where they belong, for sure.
I think maybe she like exhaled or something, and maybe like snot came out of her nose. I don't know, and maybe that's why she doesn't want to eat it. No, I'm not gonna question it. No, I would believe that too.
Maybe that's why it smells like ass. I did a fart.
That whole time, you said craptastic. That whole time sitting there waiting for somebody to come and rescue us when the craptastic broke down, still to this day, nobody ever found whatever the hell fell out of that car. Like I even got out, we walked the highway a little bit, see if we could figure out what it was. Nobody found anything. So something just fell out of the car and evaporated into the street, apparently.
Well, you know, when I was doing that transport in the black Jetta,
Hold on,
when
Bubby. Oh, I think she's singing.
I think she's singing. The dam underneath, when it came dislodged, and I ran it over, we never found that either. It's like, where did it go?
Yeah. The ghosts are stealing them.
You know, I finished the transport, got the kid home, went and grabbed your dad, and we went back looking for it, and we couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, and see, for the craptastic, for this thing, that not only was it large enough to make a very loud clunk in the street, but my car bumped as it ran it over, so this thing had to have been decently big. And the only thing that I can think of, because the car shut down as soon as it fell out of the car, so it had to have been important. So I'm saying, shut. You can watch it. Because we were thinking that it was the transmission, that the transmission dropped. But even Anthony said that the transmission was still in it. He couldn't even figure out what fell out. So the only thing that I can think is that maybe there was already something up in the undercarriage that wasn't supposed to be there and wasn't like a car part.
Maybe.
Maybe there was a giant effing rock or something in there, so when it fell out, it just blended in with nature type of thing. And that's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that it was something that wasn't supposed to be there. But if it wasn't supposed to be there, why would it shut the car down after it fell out? Because everything's hooked in there tight enough, it shouldn't have knocked anything loose.
Yeah.
Unless it was actually part of the car.
That was the end of Craptastic.
Good riddance.
She never ran again.
Good riddance. You're asking me. Pushing that damn thing up a 45-degree hill was not fun.
And yes, it said Craptastic across the back with duct tape.
Yep. I'm sure I still have a picture of it somewhere. That was their very first nickname.
What are you talking about? I say dang.
I think you're trying to say bang. Like bang? Bang. Not dang. Bang. With a B.
Bang. Bang, bang, bang.
There you go.
There you go. I'm like, dang. What?
It's better than the horse noises. They're so cute.
What?
Grandma.
The hand was like that?
Bubble beach. We're Star Wars people. I'm just going to teach her that your name is Grandma.
I was Aunt Yoda at one point, so it's still very sad when I stopped being Aunt Yoda and became Aunt Lola. I'm like, I miss me. I wanted to be called Yoda.
One of the old friend, Elle, used to get so annoyed with me because he had this tool that I was under the impression was a sledgehammer. Apparently those are two very different things. But so I was like, okay, if it's not a sledgehammer, what is it? And he's like, oh, it's called a maul, M-A-U-L. A Darth Maul? And he's like, no, a maul. Darth Maul. And every day after that, every time it was anywhere in my vicinity, I'm going to use your Darth Maul. I was like, what is wrong with you? Where do you want me to start that list?
Have ya met me?
Yeah.
Have you met Massage?
Having a dog named Jorah opened up a lot of Star Wars puns, and that's when her personality really shined, because I called her George Binks at one point, Joby-Wan Kenobi. I don't think I've ever seen a dog roll their eyes like Jorah. Like, oh no, she was done with my shit. Shut up, Mom. Driving for half an hour. This is gonna be a long trip. Still smells like ass. You know what it smells like? And this might be really weird to say because I don't know why it's a smell that's it's forever ingrained in my brain. It almost smells like wet diaper.
Ew.
Not like poopy, but when they pee and you'd get that smell mixed with the stupid like water not beads, but the little flaky shit that's in there. It smells like wet diaper to me. I guess I could have just said it smells like pee. But it smells like wet diaper.
So now she'll have special socks she can wear for her testing.
Yes. Yes. We can't go faster, babe. Well, we can, but I'd rather not.
So do you put her lead thing, tonight? Or are you even going to bother?
Her what thing?
The thing so that she gets used to.
Oh, honestly, I forgot about it. I don't know.
I guess we're about to find out if she has an adhesive issue like you and I do.
Yeah. Which I think she does, but I don't think it's to the same degree as mine yet, which is fine. But I don't remember having an sensitivity to adhesive until well into my 20s. So maybe she'll get lucky.
I don't know when mine started. It used to be like
Sitting.
like the pain patches and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to always react to those. I have for a long time. But now it's all kinds of any kind of Band-Aid, everything I react to. Yeah, I'm starting to even have reactions to my
Tens.
pads. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
Cannot take those away from me. I need that.
See, and there's not even like a workaround to that. Because
No, there's not.
Because before we got new pads for our TENS unit, we used to literally have to medical tape the pads on. And it's like, that can't even do that because medical tape is an adhesive.
Yep. Well, and I'm sure you could get find some hypoallergenic.
Yeah. Because even like our gauze pads that we buy have this like thin adhesive strip. And I can barely even use those. I have to continuously rotate them because it feels like it's ripping my skin off. It's like, I don't remember it being that bad. It seems like the older I get, the worse it gets.
Yeah, and that's been my experience, at least with the adhesive stuff. Like I said, it used to just be like the medicated type things.
Yeah.
And now it's anything that's sticky, any kind of adhesive is starting to cause reactions.
Well, and I don't care what anybody says. Menthol burns.
Yeah.
Like, David's obsessed with Vicks. And I like Vicks, don't get me wrong. But he's like, he's Vicks on the face every night type of person. And it just burns. I think Vicks is menthol.
So like my selfie stick goes 26 inches.
What? You gotta speak up. I can't hear you. No, it's too cold for that. Yeah.
It's scaly. Is it cold outside?
But anyway, the menthol-y feeling of Vicks burns to me. And I know it's supposed to some degree, but it feels like I'm laying my arm on the stove. Like, it's not enough to burn. Like, it doesn't feel like a first-degree burn, but it feels hot to me, like it's burning. And that might just be a Vicks thing. I don't know, but even like I'm trying to think, because we used to have like a menthol lotion or lotion with menthol, whatever, but whatever that thing is.
Crap, what?
But whatever is in Vicks, I think I have some sort or something in Vicks. I think I have a sensitivity to. Yeah.
In Vicks.
I know I have a fluoride sensitivity. hungry since none of us sleep. You gotta know where like the gas stations are and the Walmart, so that when we inevitably get hungry in the middle of the night, we have choices other than Chippies.
How did we
I'm not sure.
totally turned? That was weird. It was like looking at the side of the road instead of the road itself.
We're just watching the other side of traffic.
Well, I was trying to like zoom a little bit. What are you laughing at? Oh, ICP on the radio again.
Like the amount of, depending on how many songs or bands that I mentioned by name, because we now have Pink Floyd and ICP in the same video, getting a real taste for what kind of person I grew up to be.
My apps is my buddy.
See, and I don't care how old I get. It, one, breaks my heart that the new generation is calling us elder emos. Ouch. I'm not an elder. But that's the only category that I ever fit in, as much as I hate that word and I hate that title, whatever. But I don't care how old I get.
emo?
Yeah, I don't care how old I get. I will still scream at the top of my lungs to Welcome to the Black Parade. Emma sank down in her seat. She was almost in the floorboard because windows down, just singing along to MCR, and she's like,
You're so embarrassing.
yeah. Well, because, she's Taylor Swift and Katy Perry, which,
Jojo Siwa.
yeah, which is fine. But me and Emma could not be more polar opposite. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's not to say that I don't like Katy Perry or Taylor Swift, but
You guys definitely have different tastes in music,
Yeah.
for sure.
it's like, I like old Katy Perry. I don't care about her new stuff. I think Taylor Swift should have stuck with country, but she's doing all right in her genre now. It's just not my taste. She just released a new album. Apparently it's like super cryptic and shit. It's weird.
So that being said, though, I mean, there is some of your music that I know that she really, really enjoys.
Wait, what? Oh, Emma,
The
yeah.
Emma.
Because Emma's an Alan Walker fan. That's my doing. She knows most of Alan Walker's songs. She likes Crazy Train, Carry On Wayward Son, which is both me and her dad. I can't think of a song that she listens to that I didn't introduce her to, honestly. Because she listens to Melanie Martinez. That is not her mom's taste, that's for sure. I don't think she hates it, but she doesn't even, according to Emma, she doesn't even really listen to music.
I was going to say, what is Jay's taste in music? I don't know that I've ever heard.
I know she listens to, or not that she listens to, I know she knows a lot of pop songs, and the only reason I know that is because I was playing them and I could like barely see her singing along to them. So she kind of strikes me as whatever's on the radio type of person, whereas me personally, I seek out music.
But then you look at it from the other. Yeah, she listens to whatever comes on the radio, but she still has to pick a channel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which normally is associated to a genre of some sort.
If I were to try to pin her taste, I would probably go with, I don't know if it's considered pop, but just like the new age, the today music type of thing. You turn on 98.3 and it's all the new top hits, and you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's making any sense. But
It is.
But she's a podcast person. So that's one of the things that Emma's like, she only listens to podcasts. And it's like she doesn't get any time to herself. Car's the one place she gets to listen to her podcast. Let her listen to them.
Back off, homie.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that my ass was that long of a song. It's still playing.
building my Frizzy playlist.
I'm still, like, seriously freaking annoyed that when they did that update and they partnered with Spotify, they got away with Samsung's free music app.
Milk Music.
Yeah, because I had probably 500 songs downloaded onto that.
I loved Milk.
And there was like no warning, so you didn't even have a chance to like transfer your music. Just,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Because even like
All those hours I spent uploading
Saving,
my
yeah.
CDs into, and I'm still so
Milk Music,
freaking pissed about it.
to
that
this day,
I'm like, no,
yep, to this day, that is still my favorite music player that I have had, and I had a hard time giving it up because it's not even there was no warning. It was like I was listening to Milk Music one day, and then all of a sudden I went to open it up the next day, and it was gone.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Bitches.
You're peaches.
Peaches. Yep, you're right.
You're a peach.
No, you.
No, you.
No, that's
Are you a pear?
No, it's just not.
You're a strawberry, huh?
Ow.
Yeah.
Not
But
you.
Spotify, I'm having.
Look at that cute little strawberry blonde head of yours.
No, you wrong.
I had a really hard time bringing myself to actually having a Spotify account.
I won't pay for one.
No, but
Just on principle, I refuse. So I'll sit through a 30-second commercial every third song.
yep, for free.
Yep.
The ads don't bother me that much. YouTube's gotten a little crazy with them. It bugs the crap out of me, but there's no reason why I should have to watch 5 advertisements in a 30-minute video, but 15-minute video, whatever. But
That's how they're making
Yeah.
their money. That's that AdSense.
yeah,
And we never even did finish that conversation because my understanding too is that it is the creator's decision
it is.
how many ads to put and where.
Yeah,
Like you can disperse them throughout your video. You can choose to do them all at the front, all at the end.
yeah. And it's like, I remember, 10 years ago, dating myself there, but 10 years ago, when I first started watching or getting really, really into YouTube, is I would be able to watch a 45-minute video and there'd be one ad. Or I could watch 3-4 videos.
Surprised this mountain hasn't come down yet.
Yeah. And there would be one ad. And now you can't even watch for 2 minutes without having to watch 3 ads first. And it's like, it sucks that it's come to that. That the user or the creators have to put that much in just to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, talk about dating yourself. I'm the Napster generation. Napster.
I remember Napster. Napster was still technically around when I was little, but not.
So yeah, this hillside that we just passed, there is a huge. Oh, see, I can never remember if it's because there's a crevice and a crevasse that are 2 different things.
Are they? Are they different?
Yes.
Oops.
One's in ice. I think a crevasse is in ice and a crevice is in.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just call it a crevasse
I'm
to be
telling
weird.
you know what kind of shows your dad forces me to watch. So, but there was a rock quarry at the base of the hill, and they overmined it, and so it has opened up this big opening at the top, very, very, very top of the hill. And so they've been watching it. The geologists or whatever have been watching it, and it's like, I'm surprised that it hasn't come down yet, but because it's right here at the highway, I don't know if you noticed all the rail cars that were there. That's their solution. That's their barrier, so that when it does come down, rather than all of that coming onto the highway,
Sorry.
these rail cars, they filled them with something to make them heavy.
Oh, okay. So they're trying.
Not rail cars. They're cargo, like containers that you put on the backs of semis.
Oh, like shipping crate type.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And they filled them with something to make them heavier, so they're not just like an empty.
That makes more sense because, like, rail car, I'm thinking like mine cart. Like, what is that gonna do?
It's in a rail cut, yeah. And so their philosophy, their theory on it is that when this does come down, that's going to be first line of defense, and then there's the creek, and then the highway. So between these containers and then the creek, they're hoping that it doesn't actually come onto the highway and block traffic. Because this is a main road coming into Yakima. So Outback Steakhouse. I picked up. I'm having a flashback to doing a visit here.
But are we in Yakima?
Just about.
Oh, that's why it smells like gas.
Yakima's a little further up.
Oh, 3 exits. Yeah. Gotcha.
This is Union Gap.
Oh, okay. Screw Yakima.
But no, I was doing a visit.
No offense to anybody living in Yakima, but I don't envy you.
Yeah, this is kind of like the edge of Yakima here.
Gotcha.
But I was doing a visit up here, and Margaret called, and she's like, "Hey, can I get you to do me a favor?"
No.
And I go, "What's up?" And she's like, "So the Outback, her husband was the lead chef at our Outback.
I think I remember that."
And she's like, "Can I get you to swing by the Outback there in Yakima and pick some stuff up for our restaurant here?" And I'm like, "What?" And so here I am, and I don't even remember what it was. It was like barbecue sauce or something, but it was like this big, you know, like the bags of milk that has been in schools. It was like that, and it was some kind of sauce. I want to say it was barbecue sauce, but I don't remember for sure. But it was like this big, massive bag. And I was like, "Sure, it's on the highway, it's on the way, no big deal." And she's like, "And you'll get a free dinner out of it." So we got a, free dinner for 2. And all I had to do was
deliver some mystery sauce.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah. And I was here anyway. It didn't take me out of my way at all.
Dude, you're a drug and alcohol counselor. Haven't you ever learned not to take strange packages from strange people?
No.
See, it was
Man,
funny.
I do not miss making this drive, though.
Yeah, it was funny when I first quit Panda, because there was this very awesome, petty, I don't know what to call it, high-headedness, I guess, that I got to feel for the first time in my life. Because when I quit Panda, I literally got a job that was better right across the hall.
Right.
So everybody who I used to, my general manager would sit there and we'd talk across the hall and whatever. And he's like, "Oh," he's like, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm fantastic." And he's like, "So you like it over there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh." And then there was, like, should have treated me better. But there was one day when they finally hired, it took them like 3.5 months to find somebody to replace me.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
But they didn't know how to get from the mall location to the Pasco location. And so
get on the highway and go straight.
Yeah, so here's my old general manager who I haven't worked for months, and he just leans over the counter and goes, "Please." And I'm like, "Nope." He wanted me to go to the Pasco Panda and pick up their stuff, and I was like, "I don't work for you."
Not anymore.
I didn't even get compensated for the driving I was doing while working there. I had to clock out before I left, and I did not get compensated for gas mileage.
That was fun, though, when you worked at the mall, because you worked at, 2 different places that were right next to each other. It was like, all right, I'm off the clock, go change uniforms, clock in at the other place.
Yeah, for a little while there. Because realistically, the only reason I was even still at Panda is because I was trying to do my 2 weeks. Or get my 2 weeks.
What the hell? Welcome to Yakima, where there's always road work going on.
Because, I didn't even interview for Dairy Queen. I had said that I was quitting Panda, and Jamie was like, "Come here." But I knew everybody that worked there, so maybe.
I don't have to, blur out people's license plate numbers, do I? Ah.
I didn't think of that.
I didn't either until like I'm like, now that we're in stopped traffic, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't think about that.
I don't think so. Maybe? I don't know.
I mean, I guess I'll be playing with my my editing program, won't I? Let's see, this was my exit when I was doing visits up here.
Oh, you're gonna go drive up there and then try to cram your way in?
Absolutely. No, he's gonna cram his way in right here. So I'd take the exit and go across.
Everybody get as close as humanly possible. No, pull up. Fucker.
Just don't rear end him. And then go across the overpass and down, and
I wouldn't have let him in.
I wouldn't have either. Way into downtown Yakima to go to Casita del Rio
Don't let him in.
to go do visits at the treatment center.
If this semi truck is the only one I'll be nice to, but because I ain't about to play that game.
Who's there?
No, it's just playing in my hand.
Oh, just playing with my hands.
I don't think her tablet got any charge either. That USB is kind of...
She hasn't asked for it.
In fact, well, I guess it would have died by now if it wasn't charging. Maybe. The USB port's kind of funky.
Well, it's not plugged in. You unplugged it. Remember?
No, I mean... I don't think it got any charge before I unplugged it, I mean.
No.
Oh.
No.
Because it just had like this big yellow exclamation point on it for the longest time.
No, it's just playing my hand.
So the biggest attraction for Yakima, Washington, for out of towners tends to be Miners Restaurant, Minors. Big major hype, way overrated. You pay a crap ton of money for the nastiest damn hamburger. That, I mean, it's big
But it's not great.
in diameter because they pound the hamburger patties paper thin, not because you're getting a lot of meat on your
Yeah.
burger. It's like super thin patty, but it's like 6 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
And it doesn't taste good. It's not even good food.
Yeah. What was that you were saying about arriving an hour before check-in?
In my personal opinion, yeah. That's okay.
And this is exactly why I wanted to leave early. So.
We're a day early.
Yeah.
But check-in is after 4 and up until like 2 a.m.
Damn, you're zoomed in. It makes me look like I'm all the way up on this guy.
We are not that close, I promise.
I'm just gonna pull into the back of your truck real quick.
In my personal opinion, Miners is a waste of time. It's a waste of money. If you're going to come to Yakima and you want to get a decent burger, go to Majors instead. Opposite of Miners, go to Majors. They actually use Tillamook cheese, which is a Washington-made cheese out of Tillamook, Oregon. And their burgers are good. It's good ambiance. It's more of a diner style.
Yes. Yes.
She's making her own echo.
No, my hands.
I was gonna. Woo! not in. Ooh. There. See, we are not that close. I promise.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pull up in the back of your truck real quick.
Save some gas. Why not?
Yeah. He doesn't have a trailer hitch, otherwise I can pull up real close and just hook on.
Yeah.
What?
This does not make sense to me. There's no reason why we should be going this slow.
There is something about road work on a
Okay.
sign way back there.
I guess I could understand that.
So I guess we'll see what's. Yeah, I have a hitchhiker. So we'll see. I guess when we get a little closer up there as to what
Just
kind of
pausing
road
it.
work they're actually
That's
doing.
fair. I did forget about the road work. These overpasses reminded me. Did I tell you that we got lost in Hillsboro when we were going up for the expo? Well, technically we got lost in Portland. Because apparently David can't listen to music and read a GPS at the same time.
Well, he's a man. Sorry, guys.
Oh, he got pissed. Because for some reason it was the fault of the song that I was playing that he missed 3 exits in a row. And so he's like, turned my stereo off, and then he's like being all grumpy and grouchy the whole time. Emma's trying to talk to him, and he's like, and I'm like, he's in a bad mood, just leave him alone. And she's like, oh, okay. It's like, he's the freaking definition of turn the stereo off so I can see.
Grandma,
What?
that's an elephant mountain.
Meanall.
Elephant Mountain? Is that what you said?
Grandma,
Meanall.
Grandma.
Meanall.
Say that's an elephant mountain.
It's an elephant mountain. It's an elephant mountain.
Yeah, he got a little big butt. Like an elephant.
Oh, a little big butt elephant.
Elflin.
Ah!
You're silly.
You're silly.
He's got a big little butt.
He's got a big little butt.
I bet that would be fun to fish in.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I miss
Okay,
fishing.
sit down.
Oh.
Ah.
It's just the box of the unopened box of unopened chips.
I choked on my own air.
I've done that.
I was watching this TikTok creator, and she was based out of Japan, I think. At least the caption said it was based out of Japan, but with the internet, you never know. But sitting there, and she ordered like this one computer set, and it was all from one company. It was one style, but everything was packaged individually. And supposedly, from what I hear, and I could be wrong, but from what I hear, Japan is like super huge on individual wrapping. It's like, you're the reason we can't use plastic straws.
Have you ever ordered
But they're
Legos straight from China?
Yeah, but they're really big on recycling too, I think. And I think that's why they're cool with individual packaging, because they're like super strict on recycling, I think. I don't live there, I could be wrong. That's just what I've heard.
I'm having flashback number 1 and 3.
It's like, but that is a major problem, because America is not strict on recycling. So when we import and everything's individually wrapped, Americans are dumb, so they just throw everything in the garbage or on the ground rather than recycling it or doing something productive like upcycling, there we go, like we do, type of thing.
So this is the road that I would get on to go to Cle Elum for another visit that I would do. So if you're seeing and picturing this clusterfuck of a road right now, you can see there's 2 lanes. Currently what's to the left of us is closed, and then there's the merging lane coming on the far left.
I don't know, it looks perfectly usable. I don't know why it's closed, but
because we're not to where they're doing the road work yet, I don't think. Oh, I don't know what the hell. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
They're squeezing us all into one lane.
So I was driving. I was in what is now the middle lane, and I had a semi merging on the left of me, and there was a semi in the right-hand lane, which is why... Oh, look, there's the work truck. Which is why I was in the middle lane. I was passing the semi that was now on my right. So here I am, stuck in the middle lane. And right in front of me on the roadway is this massive freaking boulder. I mean, that thing had to have been a good, 8-10 inches in diameter. Huge freaking boulder. And I can't get around it because I have a semi to my left and a semi to my right. And I'm like, holy shit. And I knew I was going to hit it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to just try to straddle it in hope that my car is tall enough to go over it. I didn't straddle it. Smell that tar. Whew. They are resurfacing. Ugh.
Yeah.
So it was actually under this, right here in this bridgeway. Hit the rock, bam, instant, blew my tire because it bent my rim and punctured my tire. So I had to pull off right here on the right hand side of the road to change my tire. And I'm like, at the time we had locking nuggets.
Nuggets.
Locking lug nuts.
Nope, they're nuggets.
And so I'm like, okay, I don't know where the key to these things are. I don't know how they work. I've never done them before. So I had to call your dad, figure out how to get the lug nuts off. Where's the key to these damn things? And somehow or another, I have managed to lose 2 of the caps when I put the tire back on.
Whoops.
I don't know.
What car were you in?
The Jetta.
The silver?
The silver Jetta. Yes, and it was on the visit where three times in a row. So the flat tire was the second go around. What was the first one?
I don't like that sound. It sounds all like vibrating.
Oh, it's the road. I think it's the road.
What is in front of your camera?
Was it?
No, what is in front of your camera? Right there? Is that the court? Right there in the corner? That's what I was trying to figure out what it was.
Oh. I don't know. Anyway,
sorry.
neat little stand over here onto the right when they were open. What was the first one? So this was over like 5 weeks. I don't remember. I was on my way up here to do that visit in Cleellum. I don't remember what happened at that first one, but I got delayed and I was late. So of course I had to contact the parent, let him know I was running late. I had to contact my supervisor, let her know I was running late because we're now going to have to adjust return time. 2 weeks later, I hit that boulder. I'm going to call it a boulder. That thing was huge. Popped my tire, so that made me running late for the same visit. So again, same thing. Had to call the parent. And he was just like, man, and he's like, he was teasing me at that one about, maybe he shouldn't trust me to be transporting his child because I seem to have bad car luck and da-da-da. And 2 weeks later, I crashed my car on the way to that same visit.
See, and how are you gonna look at stuff like that and not, like, whether you believe in them or not, whether you believe it's true or not, like, how do you not look at those things and go, oh, well, it's cursed. It's clearly cursed. Like,
and in looking back at that and now knowing the end result and the outcome that came of that particular parent.
Somebody was trying to give you a message.
Yes. Did you need to wreck my car? I mean, come on.
Clearly you're not listening.
There was nicer ways you could have given me a message to get my butt off of that case. Did you need to wreck me in order to, come on. But in those last couple of weeks that I was doing those visits, things were, and I didn't know at the time that what I was hearing was what it was. I was just documenting what I was hearing, and then it wasn't until I was subpoenaed to come into court and testify that I was like,
ooh.
And I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm like, I don't understand why what was said during the visit, why is this a big deal in court? And that was when I started getting some of the backstory on the family, and I was like, oh my Lord, he was being like super inappropriate. And it was just on the superficial, surface level of things, it just seemed like an innocuous comment.
Yeah.
When in reality, it was very
malice.
Yeah, it's a good word. I'll use malice. It was ill-intentioned. He was being sneaky. He was being subversive, and he knew what he was saying, I didn't know what he was saying was wrong, or I would have interrupted, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, but it was just, he was like, oh yeah, I remember your sister. And I'm like, you know, okay, why would that be?
Yeah.
You know,
why would you blink twice for that one?
Little did I realize that when the mom and dad were together, he was molesting this sister.
Yep. Okay.
I didn't know that. So when he was like, he's telling the little boy, yeah, I remember your sister.
Oh, gotcha.
I was like, well, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
You were married to the mom for 4 years. I would hope you remember the sister.
It's like this innocent conversation all of a sudden turned into like creepy, nasty gut.
Exactly. And so, like I said, it wasn't until, you know, when I got subpoenaed to come in and testify, I'm like, what?
Oh.
I don't even know what I'm testifying about.
Yeah. No, I don't. See, and
it was like super, and I'm like, whoa, yeah. But then, like I said, I got the whole backstory.
See, I always admired you taking on that job. And there was a point in my life where I was like, oh, that's what I want to do. And then, obviously, you can only tell me so much. But even the little itty bitty bit that it was legal for you to tell me was enough for me to be like, I would not last in that job.
Doing supervised visitation is definitely, I mean, you have to be able to...
Do you need to go potty? Like, do we need to stop at the room?
I'm good.
She hasn't said anything.
I'll say she'll let you know, right?
Yep.
You definitely have to be in a... I mean, it'd be just like working for CPS. I mean, that's what, you know, supervised visitation typically is.
See, now I don't even think I could do that.
You know, 90% of the clientele that are involved in supervised visitation are involved in CPS.
Yeah.
There's a small percentage where it's just, you know, messy divorces. But most of it is CPS involved cases. But just like with CPS, being a CPS worker, you really have to be strong and sound in yourself to be able to check your shit.
Yeah.
You know, and not
get involved.
And not internalize
all
the stuff that you're seeing, all that stuff that you're hearing.
I don't know if she was talking to me or not.
She's talking to herself.
But see, like,
you know, and the hard thing, I think, you know, when I was doing the visits, I think one of the many hard parts for me was that there's so many rules governing what the parent can and cannot do and say with their child.
Yeah.
You know, and while during a supervised visit, it's like they're not allowed to talk about the foster parents. They're not allowed to talk about the foster parents' home. They're not allowed to talk about vacations they take. Why? They're not allowed to talk about why the child is in foster care in the first place.
Yeah.
Why? Why are the parents not, you know, and I get, let's not talk to where you're like, I'm trying to discolor the system, or I'm trying to, you know, defame the system, or I'm trying to talk shit about the foster parents. I get that not being allowed, but it never made sense to me why when a child makes a comment to the parent that they're really sad that they're not at home and they miss their mom, that the mom is not allowed to respond. They're not allowed to talk about that. They are to immediately shut the conversation down and change the subject.
Yeah.
Or the visit is ended.
See, and me being
and I'm like, what are you teaching the child?
Just swallow it down. Me being the mental health advocate that I am, even locally.
I had to pop Mike, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, because, you know, my kids, even my 4-year-old is taught as much as she can understand about mental health and, you know, mental illnesses and how to talk to people or how to handle, you know. Emma especially is old enough to understand way more than her sister, so I have open-ended conversations with Emma all the time about even my own mental health. Because there's days...
now the right lane is closing.
Yeah. There's days where I don't want to get out of bed. Like, and I do because I have kids to take care of and I have a house to manage and whatever. But as soon as I'm done doing what I need to do, I'll go and I'll lay back down. And she's like, oh, well, are you feeling okay? And no, not really. And I don't ever have to explain it to her now.
Right.
All I have to do is tell her I'm having a head day.
Right.
And she knows exactly what that means because I allowed her, she allowed me, whatever. We allowed each other to have those open-ended conversations at a very young age, so she's very knowledgeable now of even recognizing symptoms as somebody who right now completely lacks empathy for even her to understand and to recognize those kinds of things. It never made sense to me why parents of even teenagers aren't allowed to look at their kids and be like, well, look, I was in a bad place.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and that, like I said, that was probably one of the biggest issues I had working in that system. I mean, among many others. Probably one of the closest friendships that I developed with a parent while I was doing her visits. And I was on her visits all the time because nobody else liked her. Nobody else could stand her. She was just a bitch to, everybody else considered her a bitch and nobody could stand her. And I'm like, she's my kind of people. If I knew her outside of this, she would legit be my friend. Yeah. And so I understood it and I got it. And so...
And that was getting real bumpy.
I ended up...
I'm going to put your stabilizer to the test.
I ended up being, her supervisor probably 85-90% of the time. But, and we still talk. We're still friends, all these years later. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool, to see her, with the boys and knowing that she, after everything that she had to go through, the fight she had to put up to get her boys back. And the idiocy that she had to go through. I mean, just the bullshit narratives that the state would put out there against her. And it was just like, just keep fighting.
Yeah, and it's like, realistically, where do you get off? Like, I don't see the point of... Because there's so many parents in this world who are just comfortable letting their kids go. Mm-hmm. Who are just, I got my kids taken by the state, whatever. Like,
woo, party time.
Yeah, whenever you get these parents who are fighting tooth and nail, willing to take a bullet for these damn kids, you're going to make them jump hoop after hoop after hoop after hoop. But these drug addicts and, abusers and child molesters are getting their kids without a fight.
Right.
And it's like...
And I witnessed that too. I'm like, whoa. How was that decision made? To send that child home to that parent when this one over here is on 3.5 years of fighting and doing everything that's asked of her, and yet you still are not giving her kids back.
I turned my blinker off too early.
And at the end, at the end of the day, a lot of times what it rolled down to is shit literally rolls downhill. And if you piss your social worker off at any point in time during your case, you are fucked.
See, and I'm 95% convinced that the system is rigged.
Yeah, because if you do not have your social worker on your side, you are fighting an uphill battle.
Yep.
And that's because the personality type that she is, she's a straight talker. She doesn't bullshit around. If she's pissed at you, she's going to tell you she's pissed.
And that's the way it should be.
If she thinks you're being a bitch, she's going to tell you you're being a bitch. And, she pissed off a lot of social workers. And,
excuse me.
Which is fine. You can be, social workers have feelings too. They're humans. Mm-hmm. They can be all in their feels, but their feels should not be dictating whether or not a parent gets their child back. You have to
separate your personal shit with your professional shit.
It doesn't happen, and at one point in time, several years ago, it's probably more than several since I've been out of that industry for a minute, that decision was taken out of the hands of the social workers, whether the children go home, and was put solely in the hands of the judge. And I was like, finally, somebody who is supposed to have a discerning, unbiased view of the dynamics and the whole picture is the one making the decision rather than this person that's got a personal vendetta. But that's not, it's like, the judge makes the final decision, but they look to the social worker to make that decision. So it really didn't make much of a difference. But, child in the state of Washington, and that's not neglectful.
See, and that
And
one
yet this-
I'm on the fence
And
about.
yet
but
this particular mom moved in with a roommate, and at her next court hearing was told that she was not going to get her kids home until she had a place of her own. Because she lived with a roommate, they would not return her children. She could live in a car.
rent would be cheaper.
In the state of Washington, drug use alone
It's not enough.
is not abuse or neglect. You can make an accusation they're using drugs, but when they go in, unless there's an accusation to go along with they're using drugs, unless there's an accusation that they're abusing them or neglecting them, state of Washington doesn't care.
Yep.
And yet, a parent that is using drugs will not get their children back.
Because
So
it's rigged.
how can you use drugs as a reason not to give kids back, but you can't use it as a reason to take them away?
Because it's rigged.
And I'm like, she, over the whole time, she had gone to inpatient rehab. She spent 6 months in an inpatient rehab, got herself clean and sober. That wasn't good enough. She moved in with she moved out of with the old roommate that the state didn't like because of record. Moved in with somebody who had a clean record. That wasn't good enough. She got a job because they said that she needed to be able to financially. But
Yeah. She jumped through all the hoops. And they were
it
never
wasn't good enough. Because
enough.
now, what are you going to do for you? Now that you have a job, what are you going to do for, who's going to watch your kids? Well, if I wasn't working, I'd be home to watch my kids.
Or if I was allowed to have a good roommate.
But
Even, I can understand where there would be some little about roommates because you never truly know.
well, and they have to do a
But-
background check. No
Yeah.
matter whoever you live with, even if you were if you're single when you have an open case and you have a boyfriend
They have
or
to
girlfriend or
background
whatever,
check.
they have to pass a background check if they're going to be anywhere near your children.
Which I agree with.
And if there's an engagement and a pending marriage, they go through a full background check.
The only thing that, because I wholeheartedly agree with that, because, they're in state care for a reason. It's time to go pick up Emma. And they're just trying to make sure that they're going back to the safest place. But just because there's nothing on their background doesn't mean they don't have a violent history.
Exactly.
It just means they didn't get caught.
I was
Or
going
they
to say,
didn't get convicted.
I was going to say, background check is as good as the paper that it's written on.
Yeah.
Just like a restraining order. What's a piece of paper going to stop?
Yeah.
It's only worth the paper it's printed on. Because, think about the person that we know that's going through a major legal thing. DP.
Okay.
Look at all the background with how we know them.
Yeah.
How many background checks has he passed?
Yeah. And then
And yet, what is he currently being charged with? So
it's
just
to think of all of us kids who were alone
and exposed.
and with
Yeah.
this person
So just because you have a clean background check
doesn't mean you're a
clean person.
Yeah.
It might just mean you've just not been caught yet.
Yeah.
And that's not to say, and vice versa, that's not to say that people that have a really dirty criminal record are bad people
Yeah, because
either.
I've known somebody who
My nose hurts so bad.
they ended up getting, I think it was an assault battery charge or whatever on their record, because this guy was a juggalo and he was jumped in the street by 3 guys and they were beating the absolute piss out of him and he stood up for himself. At that point it's self-defense, but because these 3 guys ran away, one of them went to the cops and charged him with assault. And it's no, he was defending himself, but nobody was there, so there was no proof. They took this one guy's word because his little buddies came in and said, oh yeah, well he just attacked him out of nowhere. So he got an assault battery charge because these 3 guys lied about what happened.
Right.
So I knew this person. I was very close with this person. And so his background check didn't matter to me because I knew what I knew to be the truth. And I had no reason to not trust him.
Well, and doing, like I said, being a drug and alcohol counselor, I've met a lot of really good people with backgrounds.
Yeah.
That would not pass a background check, to get a job.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean, but I've met some really, really good people that have made some really, really bad mistakes.
Yeah. Just because you have what is it, if you're looking at it from a religious standpoint, what is it? All saints have a past and all sinners have a future. It's
in all of my time working in that field, my favorite I loved working with the prison population. They were my favorite group of people, and I think, a lot of it has to do with the fact that, most of them, granted, there's always going to be the rotten apples in the bunch that are, jumping through the hoops and just trying to get off paper, and they're gonna commit another crime. They're gonna be back in prison. They're gonna be, the revolving door repeat offenders.
Yep.
But
the lifers,
the great majority of people come out of the prison experience atoned for the things that put them there. And some people learn it the first time around. Some people, like Richard Linderman, it took him several times. I think he did, all in all, off the top of my head, memory-wise. So I met him when I worked at CCS in Kennewick. In 2008, and he was on paper then, and I think he'd gone back to prison like 2 more times after that. And I think in total he spent like 17 years behind bars. And this last go around, he'd only been out of prison like 3 years. But he came out this time and really, became a force to be reckoned with. And he started the Incarceration Inspiration Group here locally, and really started engaging released inmates into community service.
Yeah.
And getting them reconnected and giving back and really putting that message out there. And it was a pretty devastating loss for our community when COVID took him out.
See, I think my first, ding, light bulb, whatever you want to call it, moment, not only being raised by you, which was, I want to say, 99% of my general respect for humanity, for one, but I'm forgetting her name. I want to say it's Caitlin, the coffee shop girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the tats.
Yes.
Caitlin, yeah.
Okay, hearing her story too, I was like, oh wow. Because, she's the reason when I, started making business plans and stuff, she's probably a good 50% of most of my business plans to this day.
I wonder, I think about her every now and again. I had totally forgotten her name though until you mentioned her.
I was like, I think it starts with a K. I'm like, Caitlin sounds familiar.
Yeah. Like as soon as you said it, I was like, ding. But yeah, I haven't seen her. Well, I ran into her once after Espresso World closed down. I ran into her somewhere in town, and it was like, oh my God, how are you doing? And we kind of did a brief catch up, but I haven't seen her since. So I don't know. If she may not even still be in the area.
Yeah, she might have moved away and moved on to bigger things.
Well, and I know she was talking about going back home, which I can't remember where back home was. But when we were at the coffee shop, she was always talking about going back home.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She was out of everybody that I've ever met in my life, she was just one of those genuine souls. It's like, she was the kind of person you'd look at and go, there needs to be more of you in the world. Keep spreading your freaking kindness because we need more.
And again, I mean, she was somebody who, you know,
she had her own past.
She had a pretty extensive past, and a lot of it was drawn in ink.
Mm-hmm. Which again, you know, shaped a lot of my perspective. Because there is not a tattoo on my body that does not have a story.
Oh, same.
Like,
nor will there ever be a tattoo not meaning something.
And I don't discredit stupid, that said, they can't see it, but it quotes, stupid or meaningless tattoos. Because just because it's stupid or meaningless to me doesn't mean it's stupid and meaningless to the person who's wearing it.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not discrediting these, like, goofy, silly tattoos. Because that's still part of the story. That's still part of your story. I have a god-awful monstrosity of a star on my leg, but it has a story. Right.
You know, and for me, I mean, I like going in and looking at flash books and tattoo parlors, but
I think I can stay in this lane.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I will never be, I guess I shouldn't say never. If I was to ever go in and just pick something out of a flash book, it wouldn't be anything extravagant.
Yeah.
It might be, you know, like just a little something to put,
for your therapy.
Or like a fill-in. You know, I'm doing a big piece and there's a blank spot that doesn't make sense. I might find a piece of flash that fits in the theme. You know, but if I'm going to put something permanently on my body, I don't want to ever come across another human being and be like, hey, we have the same tattoo.
It's like, you know,
with the exception of our bracelets.
But like Zelda, for example, you know, I'm not the only person on this planet that has a Zelda tattoo.
Right.
But, you know, there will never be anybody on this planet that has my Zelda tattoo, because it will always have Jazzy's touch.
Right.
And it's one of a kind. And
for sure.
The pose, the color choice, like everything is Jazzy and my collaboration, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, oh, Zelda tattoo, that's so stupid. And it's like, you know what? Suck my nut. I need to move over?
Oh wait.
I don't know. Nope.
I'm like, no, because we don't need to go to Ellensburg. So yes, Ellensburg is where we're passing through right now. Exit 109 that we just passed is the exit that you would take to go to Washington State University.
We almost didn't pass it.
You know,
let's go see WSU.
If we took the exit, well, the navigation wasn't exactly too clear what we were supposed to do just then.
It showed to turn, but not okay.
But we needed to go straight. I mean, if we'd have exited there, or just take the opportunity to stop and go potty, stretch our legs, and then get back on the highway.
Please let me know if you do need to go, so I can stop somewhere. But
no, I'm going to see her pee my pants. I didn't wear my Depends. I'm gonna.
I did. No.
So people might be noticing that we're starting to shift in the colors a little bit. This is Central Washington. So the middle ground, the center between Eastern Washington and Western Washington.
It's Greenway.
The mountains.
Mountains to sound.
Mountains to sound Greenway. So yes, rather than being straight ugly brown of Eastern Washington, we're starting to experience a little bit of green and yellow. Granted, it is, fall, so we do have the fall colors going on.
It's like anything above ground is green usually.
But, it's, not ugly. It's not all just dead and brown like it is on our side of the state. We'll get a little further. The further west we get, it'll get more and more green. Because again, that side of the state is the wet side of the state. Stupid military, that's how I crashed my car. Stupid military trucks.
I say, there's a convoy. I think it's what, platoon? Convoy? What are they called? When it's just a bunch of trucks driving like that. Is it convoy?
Well, I know it isn't semis. They call them convoys. I don't know if they call them that.
Because I know,
I think it's still a convoy if it's a military vehicle.
Because I think the platoon is just the group of men and women.
Yeah.
That are
platoon
in one.
Is the people. Yeah. There is a military.
How am I going to be married to an army vet and I don't know this shit?
A military training facility up here, which is what I don't know how clear it went through, but coming toward us on the opposite side of the highway with some military vehicles that passed us. They probably are just finishing up a training. So they come up there. It's a full facility, so they do drops from planes.
Ooh.
The parachute
Yeah.
people.
He's carrying something. That's a body. Sorry. Watch too much true crime.
So yeah, the day that I wrecked my car, I was in the left-hand lane passing, and I'm going to call it a convoy because I don't know what else to call it, a convoy of military vehicles that were heading to the training center. And there was like 15 of them. And so I jumped over into the left-hand lane to go around them. And the FedEx truck was in front of me. And I looked up in my mirror to see if I was, clear to move back over into the right-hand lane behind the in front of the convoy. And in that split second, the FedEx truck, there's more of them. Oh, look at all the military uniforms. Oh,
do we need to stop? Do we need to pull over real quick and pretend we broke down?
In that split second that I checked my side mirror and looked back, the guy in front of the FedEx truck had slammed on his brakes, flipped a U-ey in the middle of the highway. Hi.
Glad we're not on that side.
No kidding. That was a major. It looked like it's like somebody lost their load versus a wreck.
Yeah, because I think that tractor was supposed to be on the back of the truck, and it was no longer on the back of the truck.
Yeah, because there was like a dump bucket and everything.
Yeah.
That was just, Oops. That's why you secure your load, people.
Someone's getting fired.
Or major fine.
Yeah.
Look at all that traffic. I'm definitely glad we're not going that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'd rather spend the extra, even if it took an extra hour, to super secure that fucking load than pay for it if it fell off my truck.
Well, it's your license. That's your job as a truck driver to make sure you're, as a vehicle. I mean, if you're even in a pickup truck, it's your job to secure your load. And if you don't, something happens, your butt's fried. Or you bust your windshield, you bust your back window out of your truck. Even in that split second that I checked my side mirror and looked back, the FedEx truck in front of me had to slam on his brakes to avoid hitting the dumbass in front of him who decided to use the emergency turnout at a last minute and flip a bitch right in the middle of the highway. And I had no opportunity to stop. So at 75 miles an hour, I went into and under the back end of a FedEx truck that was at a damn near complete stop. So, it was a hell of a wreck.
Are there any lanes that are open?
No. Hey, at least they're open.
Shit, I think I was on I-5 or I-90 or something.
Did I tell you what happened to your brother and Amy when we were coming to Leavenworth?
I don't think so.
So there's the big fires up in Snohomish and Washington name. Skokomish?
Squeamish.
Something. One of those Omish towns up there. Big fire. And so there was still a lot of falling trees and stuff. So they left home. They were 57 miles from Leavenworth, and they closed the highway due to falling trees. So they had to turn back around.
How are you going to shut down a highway when there's a bunch of people on it?
Go all the way back to Monroe, which is damn near where they started, and then come all the way back in through Ellensburg and out. So they're 57 miles from their destination, had to turn around and added 4 hours to their drive. It was like, drive out, and I'm like, and we knew it was coming. Your dad and I were in town, and we had gone in for some lunch, and we were walking back to the hotel, and we see the reader board off to the side that says the highway is closed, and your dad was like, oh shit.
Whoopsie poopsie.
And so as soon as we got back to the hotel, you like shot a message to your brother, and it was like,
All good.
and it was like, passing in the airwaves, because as we were sending one to them, we were getting the message from them saying they just closed the highway, and we're like, damn it, it's what we were afraid of. I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll eat dinner by ourselves tonight.
You good back there, Bubby? Nah.
So I think your sister-in-law learned a lesson
Okay.
about not checking for road closures before she leaves home.
Is it more road work or is it the same road work?
No, they're picking up the cones. There's nothing more ahead of us for now. Because there's Snohomish. I think it's Snohomish and Skokomish. So Snohomish is further north, closer to Seattle.
I don't know. I don't leave my house.
So Clealum.
Beep, beep. It goes, guys. It goes by so fast. I couldn't even. I was looking at it and I couldn't read it on the screen. So.
You know what I just realized?
What?
We passed right by my accident site and it didn't even blink an eye.
Good. That's a good thing.
Right
though.
about where you were asking me if I needed to go to the bathroom. It was right at the base of that hill was where I wrecked my car.
See, but if you think about it, you got to think about it from like a weird spiritual, creepy intuition thing. Because if you would say, "Yeah, I need to go to the bathroom," then you probably would have been thinking about it if we had stopped, and then it would have given your brain time to go, "Oh."
Because that's that rest area is where coming back I would always stop and get him out of the car and get him out stretching and running, because we'd leave the visit, he'd be all super hyped up, and then he'd be driving me crazy the whole way back home.
Yeah.
So we'd get out at that rest area and I'd get him a seltzer water out of the vending machine, have him go to the bathroom, stretch out, and we always played a game, and we'd go, ready? It'd do kind of like the rock, paper, scissors, but it was, with the 5 hands, and be like fingers. 1, 2, 3, and we'd do 2 fingers, or 1, 2, 3, 5. And whenever we both had the same number, that would be the number of times he'd have to run around the bathroom building.
Oh.
So being that he was only 4, it never occurred to him to always do 1.
Yeah.
So then no matter what, eventually he would, when he did have to run, it would only be once.
Yeah.
But
I just remember we did a big boom.
yeah, we did a crash.
Yeah, that.
He made a point to tell everybody that supervised his visits after that. Every time he'd see me, he'd tell everybody we crashed.
Like, obviously I never knew the kid, but he sounded really sweet.
He was a sweet kid, and so I still get to see pictures of him every now and again on Facebook. It's because I have a weird connection. Well, we kind of all do, actually. Sasquatch.
Oh.
His mom and that foster mom are really good friends.
Maybe you have told me that before. I feel like I did know that, but I didn't know that.
Because it was that foster mom. Remember that conversation with Sasquatch where he was like coming in and being like, well, she said 4-H this and and we're doing all this, and I'm like,
Whoa. Wait a minute.
it was that foster mom.
Oh, gotcha.
And I didn't realize it at the time. The connections kind of slowly started coming together. That's who was talking smack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bitch, if you only knew that I'm the leader of the club you're trying to freaking talk shit about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's been pictures when Sasquatch had his Facebook. There was some, get-together pictures that had been done. And obviously I still know the foster mom's name, so I can always look on her Facebook and see pictures of the kids. And
You stalker.
was so once a year the mom gets to visit with the boy. She doesn't get to have any. There's no communication legally with the daughter. So every once in a while, like she sent me birthday pictures, and I'm like, oh my god, he's 10. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that is so crazy.
Oh, we had smooth road for like 10 seconds. Oh.
Yeah, there's no such thing. We haven't hit King County
Goodbye.
yet. When you get to King County, everything is
goodbye.
beautiful and smooth because King County is where all the money goes.
Yeah, because even though they're like the richest county in Washington, for
That's
some
'cause
reason the Tri-Cities had to pay for their damn roads.
Because the rest of Washington pays for all their shit.
And they're still crap. I was in Seattle, literally Seattle, when they taxed the ever-living piss out of the Tri-Cities to pay for Seattle's roads. I was living in Seattle, and their roads were absolute garbage. Like, how are you going to freaking charge us that much, and then you didn't even do the damn job right?
Nope. Misappropriation of funding.
King County is like our popular girl. Like, it's the queen bee of Washington. Friggin' King County gets what they want when they want it.
Well,
and they
yeah.
don't care who they trample on.
Absolutely. And that's why, why the government is the way it is in Washington, because King County has the most voters. So whatever King County wants, Washington gets
Yeah.
stuck with.
Well, and it's,
We get stuck. Oh, look, all the military trucks.
The ballot or the bill, whatever they're called, that they're trying to pass. I've noticed, because I've been keeping an eye on it. There's so many signatures, and there's more and more every year to split Washington State in two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm just waiting for the day that it finally passes, and we no longer have to be dictated by King County.
Yep.
Because small towns like the Tri-Cities and Walla Walla, we get screwed every single time.
Yep.
Like, we are not big enough as cities to afford Seattle prices.
Oh, I didn't mean to cover my screen.
We don't have enough people.
Look, there's snow.
I just want to hold it.
What's it mean?
Wasn't me.
Oh, it wasn't you?
Okay, Shaggy.
Green trees.
I don't know what she's going on about, but it's funny. I'm sitting here thinking like, you're honey.
You're honey.
I'm like, oh, I should have put on deodorant. Like, all of a sudden I'm like, might have to roll the windows down.
Don't have smell-o-vision. It's good.
No, but I'm in the car with other people.
But look, you can see a little bit of the snow up there behind the clouds.
I swear, if it snows this weekend, I'm quitting Washington.
Western Washington is also the mountainous side.
Again?
Rightly. Hey, but we're right twice instead of left, right.
I don't know, and at least I'd almost prefer that. At least keep it interesting. Why do they have to work on all of the roads on the same day? Can't you work like section by section? Yes, I realize that's not efficient, but I know why they do it. I'm being a smartass.
See, I don't know my mountains.
I don't know.
I want to ask if that's Mount Rainier off to our right, but
I think it is. Or Helen's? No, Helen's is... Fuck if I know. I never passed geography. Geology? I almost said geology. Geography is math.
You moved back to the right, but the right lane's closing.
Yeah, but this asshole was up in my fucking tailpipe.
Ah, gotcha.
So I'd rather just get out of the way.
Because how dare you actually do the speed limit instead of 12 over?
I'm actually doing 1 over, so I'm already speeding. I usually do 5 over, but...
See, I should know my mountain ranges of the state that I live in, but...
You know more than me.
I've always hated geography, so...
Oh, it was geography. I said it right.
Yeah.
I mean, geology is not that far off, but it's still not the right word.
Yeah, geology is the study of rocks.
Yeah. I was never good at geography.
Geography. Well, yeah. I'm not a history buff. Yeah, none of that. I'm not like any of those science.
See, and I'm wondering, I think my issue was the ADHD, because you can tell me the names of something over and over and over and over and over again, and I'll forget them by morning. It's like, oh, I can't tell you the difference between Mount St. Helens and Mount Rainier because they look the same.
The road narrows, is that because the lane closes?
Here's the pretty part of Washington.
Yes. Look how much greener it is. See, and that's the double-edged sword for me, is that I would love to be where it's green all the time.
But you don't want to live in the
But I don't
city.
want to live in the wet. I don't want to be where it rains all the time.
Well, there's a reason it's green.
Exactly. I know that. Logically, I know that. The reason it's green is because it rains all the time. But I don't want to be wet all the time. I don't want to be in the rain all the time. You know? I would be more pulled towards central Washington if I really had my choice. Because then I at least get some green, but not all the rain.
I'm going to move over here because I'm getting real fucking tired. Jackhole's tailgating me. Now I'm going to do the speed limit.
Now the left lane is closed.
Because it drops down to 55. Y'all can enjoy your double fines. I don't want one.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm glad we left a day early.
See, we can just chillax at the Airbnb tonight.
Watch some scary ghosty shit with me.
Maybe. We'll do some footage stuff, probably in the Airbnb. Just do a tour of the place that we're renting for the next couple days. Drop their info in the description for anybody that comes.
I'll put the link in the description.
West Side Walk. No way.
Minnie Moo. Like and subscribe. And what else? Good job.
Hit the bell.
Good job.
Hit the bell.
Hey, I just said hit the bell.
Hey, I just said hit the bell.
Woke up this morning in my shoulder.
Oh yeah, see, Snoqualmie. That's the fun thing about Washington, is that we are very tribal. Still, a lot of our towns are based in tribal history. You know, hence Snohomish, Snoqualmie,
native
Yakima.
names.
You know, we're very Native American heritage, especially on the western side of Washington.
Yeah, because it's the pretty side.
Because it's what?
Because it's the pretty side. I was gonna say something, but I don't think it would pass TOS.
So Leavenworth is the next right. Maybe on the way back we can stop and hit the cheesemongers.
I like cheese.
So yeah, this would be my exit to Cleellum.
What, bub? You gotta speak up. I can't hear you.
Trying to drink my juice.
Well, you're gonna have to ask for help, and Grandma's gonna have to help you because I can't reach back there while I'm driving.
Oh, ouch. Ow.
Did you hit yourself with the coffees?
Yes, right in the elbow.
Want a coffee?
You want a coffee?
I want a coffee.
I guess while I'm gone, meow.
I was gonna be annoying. That way you didn't have to do two things at once.
Trade your jar for your can. Hi, C.
The person's name was Tiffany Smiley.
Flash and fruit punch. Yeah, she's running for office.
Can you imagine having the last name Smiley, though? It'd be kind of awesome. I mean, it'd be better than our last name, let's be honest.
You know, I could probably see the house I used to do visits at from here.
I like the little barn right there.
Cleellum's a very, very, very tiny little town.
Don't blink, you'll miss it.
Pretty much.
Remember when people used to say that about Yakima?
I think this was the exit I used to take.
Oh, if you blink, you'll miss it. Trust me, you can't miss Yakima because you'll smell it before you see it.
Yes, this was the exit I would take, and then hang a right and then a left.
I don't know if it's obvious or not yet, but I have a personal vendetta against Yakima.
A vendetta or a bias?
Yes.
See, I do wonder if
There's more.
I wonder if his parents are still alive, because neither one of them were in really good
But that's a
health.
different convoy. I mean, somebody's going to have to educate me if there's a difference in the colors of the trucks. A significance, I mean, in the difference.
I don't know. Ask your veteran husband or your veteran father.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Because, I mean, those trucks were clearly a different color. The other ones were green. Those ones were like the desert tan.
Right. And if I think about it from the standpoint of uniforms, it's the location that they go so that they camouflage.
Makes sense.
But I don't know.
I mean, for all I know, it could have been a completely different branch of the military, too.
Could have been. Yeah. I don't. On vehicles, I have no idea. But that's why there's different colors of camo.
Yeah.
You know, you have the white ones, the white and gray ones. If you're going into a snowy snow area, you have your desert camos. You have your greens. So I would imagine trucks are colored based on
Where they're going.
the environment they're going to be in. But
You couldn't have waited.
thanks, driver.
No, David, he's not. Like, he doesn't shut out his military background,
Is it good for punch?
but
Yeah.
he doesn't really talk about it either. Not openly. Like, if I ask a question, depending on the question, he's usually more than willing to answer it.
Right.
But the only time these questions ever come up is when I'm nowhere near him.
Hey, secure your load. Make sure that shit does not fall on the car. Please.
Yeah. No, I don't. This alone
Scrap metal.
gives me anxiety. I hate driving by semis. I respect semis. I respect semi drivers. I don't want to be anywhere near semis because I watched Final Destination and I used to drive a car the size of a brick. So I learned to be very wary around semi trucks, and I've never liked driving around semi trucks since that one tried to run me off the road in the bug. I stopped trusting them after that, and it's not their fault. Like, I was a very tiny car, they're a very large truck. It wasn't their fault.
Did you get it all?
But I lost the trust after that.
You drank it all.
And even now that I'm in a big car, I still have a hard time getting out of that small car mentality.
Did somebody teach her to blow into it to get the rest of it out?
No, look, there's more.
Okay.
But wait, there's more.
But wait.
See, we're back to green.
Uh-huh. Like I said,
And a tan. Never mind. Maybe they're just
there's like I said, the training facility is up
more
here,
fucking work. Are you serious?
up here somewhere.
Cheesy crackers. Oh, how will night? Fucking English. Better be a nice road. Damn.
I can't believe. See now it's stuck in my head. I can't believe I drove right past my wreck site and I didn't even blink. That's the first time I've not like had a mini panic attack going through there.
Maybe it's because you're not driving.
Maybe it could be.
Because when you're driving, you have to be aware of your surroundings.
I mean, I know that the first couple times we went through there, your dad was driving and he had to pull over because I literally threw up on the side of the road.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
But that was when everything was still really fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But even the last time your dad and I went through there, I could feel my heart start just, and I'm like, oh, there, it's still there. All these years later, it's
Yeah.
still there. But I still get that whenever I see a FedEx box truck. It triggers that almost instantly.
Yep. See, and it was my own traumas that made me very cautious around semi trucks, but it was your traumas that made me cautious around FedEx trucks. Because again, even in this car, you proved in that fucking Jetta that the Bug isn't the only car I needed to be scared in.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter the size of your car. It really doesn't. Because even if you were driving the Titan, you still would have gotten fucked up. Like, maybe not as much, or maybe more. I don't know. But
I don't even want to think about that.
sorry.
Just because I would have been matching in height.
Yeah.
I think the reason I came out as well as I did, not only was it the quality of the vehicle, but because of the height differential between the two vehicles, rather than the engine compressing into the cabin bay,
True.
it just cut in half.
Yeah.
And it, you know, and I
Which is
ended up
still terrifying,
You know,
but-
ended up under the truck. If I was in a truck of equal size,
You would have been in the truck.
the engine would have been in my lap.
Yeah.
So
You and
yeah.
the truck would have become one.
I don't, yeah.
So yeah, that is a good point. But and yeah, when I say the size of the car doesn't matter, it definitely does. But
And I definitely don't have as much faith in American-made cars as I do in.
oh no, I still, when people are like, I don't know what car to get, you know, you just had a baby and you got a 4-year-old kid and a 7-year-old kid, get the Jetta, dude. Get the Jetta.
Yep.
It's like you still got a rear facer, get the Jetta.
So you know, how did I survive that? By the grace of God and German engineering.
Yeah.
Because
It's like people want to shit on Volkswagens all the time, but those have been the best damn cars I've ever driven.
slug bug, no slug bugs. And it's a bright green one even.
Oh, I see it now.
I don't know how you weren't seeing it. That thing's bright ass green.
But, you know, the Bug to this day was my favorite car, and it got me everywhere I needed to go until all of a sudden it just stopped working. But
Because it's a Volkswagen.
yeah, and it was
And it's 50
40.
years old.
Yeah, it was 40-something years old when I stopped driving it. It was a miracle it even still ran. And then you've gone through 2 Jettas that were phenomenal. Even the bus was not in good condition, and it still ran better than half the cars I had.
Yeah.
Like, I will rep Volkswagen to the day I die. I don't care what I'm driving. I will always recommend a
It's
Volkswagen.
the really sucky part is that, you know, we have the Bug, and because of the issues with my legs now, I'll never be able to drive it again. Even if, you know,
Well, you can drive with me, and
you know,
we can,
even if we do get the engine put back together and, you know, get it back on the road, it's a freaking stick.
yeah. I miss that car so much. At least I'm enough years have passed that I can admit all the stupid shit that I did in that car. Because what are you gonna do about it now? Take it away?
Oh, we already did. What are you talking about?
I gave it back. No. You know, what difference does it make, really?
Yeah.
It was 7 years ago, you know, doing roundabout races in Columbia Park in the middle of the night. My car, cause it's like, I remember DJ hanging out the window, don't do that, you'll tip my car.
I need you to lean. Okay, we're going
Everybody
right.
lean the other way,
Everybody
yep.
need to lean left.
Yep. Being able to break into that car just by, you know, I remember,
Loosening the wing window.
yeah, just, you know, wiggling the dipstick in there a little bit to pop the lever open.
Left lane closed. Speed limit 55. Left lane closed. Oh, this is kind of fun. Well, at least we're back to left and right. You got your wish.
I know, I should have kept my mouth shut. It reminds me of the drive from Walla Walla to the Tri-Cities. Because they have 1 lane, and then they have 2 lanes, and then they have 1 lane, and then they have 2 lanes, and then they have 1 lane, and then it stays 2 lanes. Why not just make the whole freaking thing 2 lanes?
Flying empty juice box.
Did you just throw that at me? You threw it at my seat. I know, I'm scared.
I know. I'm like,
I started a war.
where'd it go? Right where? Oh.
Now, as long as it is safe, my kids get fair and equal treatment. She threw the juice box at me, so I threw back. Oh yeah, Zach Galifianakis. I laughed so hard, no sound came out. Ah. Slow traffic ahead. That's all it's been.
What the hell? What are you doing to the juice box?
Chewing on it, probably.
Squish, squish, squish.
Ah. Chill. Right.
Incoming!
Did you turn into a unicorn? change, Mina. Stay weird.
You got the hiccups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like an ice cream.
It's like an ice cream.
I heard you, but
You're gonna get her into T-ball, right? She's got a helmet on.
yeah. Why do you think we have a T in our house now? She has her own baseball bat. She's got her own little ball, or I should say softball bat, because they're the only ones short enough for her.
Beginning November 1st, Mountain Pass ahead. Oh! So before November 1st, there was no Mountain Pass?
Oh, so you just had to turn around and drive through the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Or turn around and drive, whatever. Smartassery failed, apparently. There was no mountain pass. There better have been a man with a beard going, "You shall not pass." My nerdism showing.
We are in our final hour.
The plane's closed. Why do you think everybody's over here? They're just trying to get around the semi. I get it.
They gotta go faster so they can get at the front of the slow line.
Yeah. See you guys up there.
Jesus, girl! I'm waiting for it to fly and end up on the dash. What?
You're a girl. Okay. You're not, but okay.
Maybe she is.
If she wants to be, I suppose, but she ain't old enough to make that distinction, so
Hey! You dropped it.
that I'm sure that'll be controversial, but
It's in the floorboard. Neener, neener, neener. Don't you dare take that seatbelt off. It's all gone. No more flying juice boxes.
I have no problem with having a transgender child or whatever, but
Give me nuts.
I don't believe that your child can decide that they're transgender if they don't even know the difference between a boy and a girl yet.
Yeah, at 4.
Yeah, so if she grows older and still wants to be a boy, then okay, fine, whatever. But I think that's because we call her our son. That she's, oh, I'm a boy because David calls her our son. So I think he's given her a little bit of a gender complex there. This road sucks.
You get in that seat, right? Uh-huh.
I hate semis, I'm sorry. I almost hit that cone. But I also want to get off this road. Better. Not by much, but it's somewhat better.
Did you shimmy the
I don't know what I did. Probably.
shimmy the camera out of place?
Hi, hiccups. No, why does that? Oh,
Fermina,
because it's 65. That's why.
Fermina's got the hiccups. You know, I don't realize that I'm yelling until my ears are plugged.
It's so funny when you've been driving so long. Fucking dude, there's a whole passing lane. Jackass. I was waiting for her to say it.
Me too.
Off route. Where else am I supposed to go? When you've been driving long enough that you start to drive by feeling rather than by looking. So I was doing 70 where I thought the speed limit was 70 and I was like, oh, that does not feel right. The 70 doesn't feel comfortable. Turns out that wasn't the speed limit. It was only 65. That used to happen to me all the time in the bug too. Like all of a sudden I'd be like, the speed limit doesn't feel like 70. The speed limit doesn't feel like 30. Like, I talk with my hands.
Me conversation. Whose panel was that? Whose live was I watching?
I will do 70 because that's what I'm comfortable doing.
It had to have been Jules, because I don't think I've watched anybody else lately. Because Muzz is down in Tennessee with a couple. She's doing a first-time meeting with a couple of creators that she knows from YouTube.
Like a meet and greet type thing.
They went on a girls' trip together.
Oh, that's cute. I don't like anybody enough to do that.
So
Except you. But
none of them have done any streaming that I've seen. They've done some community posts, but no streaming. So it had to have been on Jules' channel, but there was a conversation chat about talking with their hands, and I'm like, I knock stuff out of my own hands all the time.
Yeah. I legitimately thought that was Darth Vader on the side of his truck.
I'm like, I knock stuff out of my own hands.
Yep.
I was pretty well known at my job for accidentally throwing things at people.
Yep.
Because I'd be playing with them and then fling! I had to stop taking rubber bands into the group room with me because I'd sit and play with a rubber band while I was talking. I flung, and it slipped, and I slingshotted a rubber band across the room.
I've done that to my own kids on accident because I play with my ponytails when I'm doing their hair.
Yep.
Or waiting to do their hair. I'll sit there, and there was one time I was just stretching into my fingers, and Emma walked in, and it flung off my finger right as she walked in.
But technically, it's probably not illegal in the state of Washington for you to do that to your child. For me to do it to a client, probably there's some...
It's probably severely frowned upon at the minimum.
There's probably some gray line there. I was like, oh shit, sorry! It was a perfect shot, too. It was like 1 in a million. There's no way I would have ever, got him right in the center of the forehead. I was like, oh shit!
That's funny.
Okay, no more rubber bands. I'll go back to clicking my pen.
I did fart.
You did a fart.
See, this is pretty.
This is my favorite time of year anyway. I love fall. Like right now when the trees they're not dead, but they're just starting to turn. So you get all the variations of the yellow, the orange, the red, and it just all...
And this guy is going to get right the frick up beside me right when I have to change lanes. Because heaven forbid you do a consistent speed. Fucking hell. It's right lane again. Take your bets, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be left or right next time. Better be left.
People. Normally I would mute my phone to blow my nose.
You could probably pause it, but then there'd be like this weird jump.
Yeah, so you're just gonna hear me blow my nose.
Just cut it out in editing. He's walking around with a flamethrower.
He is.
Oh, Louise. Ah, the wheezy laugh. Sorry. Sorry. Not sorry.
Get him melting some tar for the road.
I'm only friends with that guy. Just pull over on the side of the road. Can I play with your flamethrower? Not in a dirty way. Legitimately want to play with the flamethrower.
Check out that overpass that we're getting ready to go under.
That's cool. Right? Watching you trying to zoom.
That is pretty cool.
I was trying to steady you in just enough. It said truck 60, not me 60s. See, that drives me nuts.
Well, quit looking at it. That was a neat little structure.
Yes, I like that a lot. It's cool. So,
I got a notification about Jules. She must have known I was talking about her.
Her ears were ringing.
Something about mindless indulgence, but it didn't say going live, so I wonder if she
Mindless
posted, because she'll do stuff on TikTok and then post it on her YouTube as well, or not TikTok but Instagram, and then she'll post it to her YouTube so that people that don't follow her on Instagram can still see.
Like multi-platform posting.
Yeah, like she went, she walked to her niece's house to go trick or treating with her younger niece, and so she was on camera the whole walk. Or she was on camera, but she was filming the walk. And then she posted it so that other, but I'm not sure who Dead Jessica is, but that's who her niece was for Halloween.
Zombie version of herself or a friend, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, she looked very ghostly. And of course, she made sure not to show her face.
Yeah.
But so we saw her from behind, and there was one where she had
like a
she had her head down and had like the wig and stuff all covered,
gotcha.
Over, so you couldn't see her face. But I'm like, damn, I want that wig. Just saying. Yeah. What are you? Dead Jessica. Okay, what's that?
Mountains look all pretty and shit, though. I love when the fog and the clouds and stuff are right on the mountains.
Seeing that zoomy thing, because again, my brain works backwards. For me, moving your fingers apart should make you zoom out, because you're going out, not zoom in. Pinching should zoom in, not make you go out.
I don't know. I was raised, so I had no, like, well, I guess, I don't know how long that's been around, but, I'm the technological generation.
It's just backward.
But
it just is, and it's not, my brain does not work
electronic,
that way.
I mean,
It's
electronic generation.
That's why I can't do those backwards games where you have to go left to go right and up to go down.
I got in a whole ass argument with David yesterday about that. Up should be up, down should be down.
Absolutely.
And he's like, it wasn't like even on the N64. I'm not playing the N64. Up should be up and down should be down. Plain and simple. It's like, I'm not flying an airplane. I'm playing a video game.
What universe are we playing this game in? Yeah. This one, where up is up and down is down.
And it's like, that's where a lot of it came from, is like old flight simulators that they used to sell for like Nintendo and stuff like that. Because when you're flying an airplane, yeah, you pull down to go up. And I get that. But I'm not flying an airplane. There's no reason why
I would crash a plane, because I would never.
Yeah, my brain doesn't work that way. But when I'm shooting aliens on a freaking alien planet on Borderlands, up should be up and down should be down.
That's why I can't back a trailer either.
Because left is right and right is left.
If I want the trailer to go that way, I have to steer the.
Let's say I've been driving for 6 years. I still barely back up my car. Like, I have a very hard time backing my car into places. I ain't driving with a flipping trailer. The first time at the new house, backing my car into the garage so that I can clean it, I damn near had a heart attack. I don't back my car in anywhere. Of course, now that we have this big ass driveway, I can whip in there. If I'm not pulling into the garage, I just flip a bitch right there in the yard. Because I park backwards when I'm unloading groceries so that I can pull the trunk up to the door.
Yeah, I don't know. Backing a truck, not a problem. If there's a trailer attached to it, big problem.
See, and I don't know what it is.
So yeah,
I just don't like backing up vehicles.
I was talking to your dad about, trying to find a trailer of some sort, or some kind of a vehicle to do the Maker's Market. So that way, rather than, it's a tent they can't secure, or having to tear down every night, set back up every day, we could just close the door and lock it. And my first thought was to see if we could find like an old Volkswagen van or something like difference between pulling a trailer behind a truck and dropping the trailer.
Or driving a truck that is a trailer.
Right. And driving a vehicle in and parking it there for the week.
Because I'm almost wondering if we could get away with like a modified food truck. Like getting a food truck and taking out the refrigerators and stuff and just modifying it to our needs.
That would probably be a lot more expensive, and you'd end up with a lot of equipment you don't need.
Resell.
It would make more sense to try to find, like you're saying, like a school bus or.
Because we've been joking about getting a school bus since we were doing rabbit trips.
You know, or like a ride share bus or something like that.
I'm pretty sure this is the highway we took to get to Hillsboro.
Maybe.
Because this looks very familiar. Not that it all kind of looks the same in some
It
places.
does. This side of the state, this side of Oregon.
Waterfall.
Out of nowhere, a random flying juice box.
Waterfall.
Waterfalls.
I think it's been sitting there a while. I just didn't notice it. My elbow hit it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Look how pretty that is.
Yeah.
That's
Cross stitch. That's what I'm seeing right there. I'm seeing a
Your
cross stitch picture.
no camera could do that justice. It looks
No.
so pretty.
Your dad's would be able to do that justice.
Well, he's got 6 effing cameras.
I know.
Give me that phone. He can have my Motorola.
I would
want
love
that.
to have that to cross stitch. That would have been. That is gorgeous.
Yes.
See if I can get
Screenshot
a
it.
still shot of it. Because I would definitely pay
Look at that little cloud just chilling down here.
to have that turned into a pattern.
Oh, you can see it on the camera. That's gonna look so cool. That's not smoke. That'd be cloud.
That is a cloud, yeah.
Or as I called it on our way to Hillsboro, them be puddle pockets.
Funnel pockets?
Puddle pockets.
Puddle pockets.
Because they hold the rain. Puddle pockets.
Okay.
We were talking about like outrageous accents. And like just randomly we started talking like deep redneck. And I was like, you have to think of the stupidest thing to call things. Puddle pockets. Which could also be a euphemism, I suppose.
Yep. Well, that was kind of funny because that the girl that I was talking about on my live that I've discovered with the the prison record, and that's what her channel is all about. Some of the stories she's told on there about the questions that people have written in about hot dogs and prison purses, and it's like,
Is she like a, have you seen her? Like, do you know what she looks like?
Oh.
She like a skinny girl, brown hair.
Yeah, long
Did you
brown
send
hair.
me that video? No, you showed it to me when I was at your house. I
about the
think.
hot dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I do know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Her last name is Kent. I'm drawing a blank on what her first name is.
I don't know.
So just for y'all that are watching this, somebody wrote in and asked her if it was true that prisons have to cut hot dogs up to prevent women from using them as sex toys.
I don't know if you're meaning this way or this way, but either way, it's not going to work.
She goes, it's kind of small. And guess what?
And I would figure, I mean, if you were desperate enough, what are they going to do? Cut your fingers in half? Like,
And she goes, we got lesbians, y'all. We don't need a hot dog.
yeah.
It was like, true.
That was, by the way, that was two separate sentences that got blended into one. If you're desperate enough, half a hot dog would probably still do you good. If you're desperate enough. But we're women and we have fingers. And there's lesbians in prison. So what?
I just thought, we got lesbians. We don't need this.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's really cute. Like I said, she looks young. So I'm gonna do some research on her. And
don't I don't know why I said it like that.
Oh no.
We're back up to 70. I was already
And a right lane closed.
oh, for fuck's sake.
It's okay, you're in the middle, we're good.
But it was it was supposed to be the left lane this time.
We still have
I felt it.
we still have the flying juice box.
I felt her about to throw it.
She like folded it up.
No, that was me.
Oh.
Fidgeting.
What's my face?
You pulled my face. Oh my god, did you hear the thump?
I'm just glad she's a good spirit. Like she's a good sport. Plus she started it.
She did start it. She threw the box first.
I don't think I'm supposed to say that as a parent, but she started it. Let's be honest, I'm half parent and half child here. Ride my ass, at least buy me dinner. Fuck. Lots of tailgaters on damn roads today. I just said that on something that's going to be posted on the internet.
Yes, you did.
That's okay. I already plan on making it a bumper sticker, so.
Ride my ass. Can you pull my hair too?
That's right, Joe.
Flying juice. Oh, it landed right in your lap.
No, it's not my face.
It's on my face.
I'll leave it in the car.
Okay. I'm going to say it because it just happened. Wait, what are we doing? Oh. Is that sometimes ADHD is fun. And you know, a lot of people shit on ADHD because it is hard to deal with and it's hard to manage and blah, 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 and all this shit. But I can't claim that it's not exciting when I legitimately just forgot that I had a coffee. So when I looked down and there was coffee sitting there, and I was excited. ADHD's not all bad.
The constant clogging and popping of my ears is giving me a headache.
Yeah, you pass that on. Sit on your butt now.
Don't make me turn this car around.
That's my line.
Says the passenger.
There's a light flashing in the trees up there. Nope, it's on the tower. Okay.
That was a major optical
Yeah.
fuckery for you.
Thought it was Sasquatch for a minute. Oh, we're in the wrong part of Washington, I think, for Sasquatch. I think he's back a ways.
Maybe. Yeah. And north.
Yeah.
He's more north central. Like north of Wenatchee.
Wenatchee. We got Wenatchee, we got Umatitty, we got Yakima. Asco. Richland and Kennewick never got dirty nicknames, though. They were just K-Town and Richieland.
Where do you live? Castle Richland?
I still remember, what color is your car? Grapes?
What color's your dog? Purple?
How many dogs do you have? Jetta!
Mocha?
Don't drink, kids.
What's that light? I see a light. Do you see a light? Where's that light coming
That
from?
was fun, though. And he did set a
Are
bar.
you filming me?
He set a bar that night for where I never want to be. So
That was the last time he was ever that drunk.
yeah.
He's never drank like
Nina.
that since.
Thank you.
She's got her foot in the handle of the plastic bag.
Of course she does. Beggars can't get off my damn bumper. Florence.
Oh. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings.
You gotta be safe before you're happy there, bub. Sorry.
Absolutely. Oh, there I go trying to rub my nose again.
You want some coffee? Okay. Just thought I'd ask.
Might help you sleep. I'm actually surprised that child is still awake.
I'm not. Don't die.
Wrong pipe. Can I have Daddy's sloth? Okay.
Can I eat Daddy Sloth? Oh. But I'm hungry. Oh. Okay. Yeah, he's it's the right lane again. He's all squishy.
Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. Tweet, 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 tweet. Tweet, 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 tweet.
I've got a bumblebee and another cockatiel over here too.
Okay, I'm getting a little
loopy. When in doubt, blame the altitude.
He's dirty.
Yeah. But no, if you look at him, his face is permanently formed to the windshield, so it's all slanted. He's got some issues.
Some issues.
Some issues. Then I got my bumblebee and my panda and my standard cockatiel up there on that side.
Not in my bag.
Yeah, you might get so much noise.
Can you hand me that one?
Right? Why? Does everybody gonna insist on being right in front of me?
That's exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you.
The lane's not even closed yet. You just had to be in front of me.
I was gonna ask her if she could hand me the bag, and she goes, "This."
She do.
Because that's
She
what I
do.
went up the bag for.
So I know what you want, Grandma.
Want one? No?
Yes. Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah. Yeah. Told you I get freaking weird on road trips.
What? You had cereal at your house, but you don't want a beef stick?
She totally did
You
not
want one
have
now?
cereal.
You
Yes.
want one?
No. She totally did not have cereal at the house, by the way. I want a cookie cereal.
That's not cereal. You want a fruit snack? Which kind?
1, 2, or 3?
1, 2, or 3? Number 2?
She probably thinks we're asking her how many she wants.
Jimmy Christmas, what kind of glue did they use for this box?
86,000. Gorilla. literally the quietest it's been on that video this whole time.
We're stuck on our potholes.
We only got 27 more minutes.
Whoop, whoop. They're good, huh? Want them up? And they're local. They're out of Kent, so up here in this area. By Seattle. But we're not nom and on. Nummy nummies. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Oh no. Because me and David just randomly do that at random times throughout random days. But I had started it this time, and we were all in the car together coming back. Yeah, coming back from the expo, and just randomly I went, and you hear Emma in the back seat going, and David's like, "How do you know that song?" And she's like, and he's like, "Well, who sings it? Who sings it?" And she's like, "The Muppets." And he's like, "Which one?" "The pink one."
That's funny.
Well,
I got one more for you.
apparently they listen to it in their music class,
Oh.
and it's they play like the Muppets video and stuff with it. It's kind of cute.
Actually, they have the double smoked sausage, and then they have the pepperoni ones. I liked these better than the pepperoni. Your dad liked the pepperoni better. And your brother liked the pepperoni better. He said these ones tasted weird.
It's fine to me.
But it's also the sibling that if you put too much salt on something, he says it's, you know, if you put any seasoning on anything.
It's spicy. It's gross. I don't like it.
Bumpy.
Fix the camera. That was a big bump.
We saw a sign up in Hillsboro that neither David nor I had ever seen before. And it just said, "Caution peacocks." We're like, okay, we've seen caution deer. We've seen, elk signs. We've seen caribou signs. We've seen cow signs. Never once has either one of us seen a sign for peacocks. Like, whatever. It's like maybe there's a farm around here or something and they, cross
That
the
would
street.
be my assumption.
But no, we pull up a little bit and there's just this wide open field with literally thousands of peahens just chilling. I'm like, what the fuck?
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, it still very much could be a farm. But from our perspective, they look free range, but doesn't mean they...
I mean, they
not
can be free
yeah.
range and still own.
Oh, yeah. But
Because
I've never seen anything quite like that.
I don't know that peahens and peacocks are native to here.
I don't know.
Insert Google that I can't use because my phone's hanging up at the rear.
I missed it. There we go.
Oh, little cuties.
I need to just swipe up to get rid of that one.
are very adept at surviving off the land. So it's no surprise they've been able to increase in numbers living wild. Being omnivores, they're able to eat just about anything edible they can find. And peacocks are also invasive birds and will roam wherever they need to. They're not great at flying, only being able to manage a mile or so at a time. But peacocks will cover some distance to find areas where they feel safe and have everything they need. They're clearly not designed to live in close proximity to humans, and this is when problems really arise.
I'm just glad.
So they are not native to Washington State, but there are documented wild colonies, apparently.
Gotcha. Well, I can confirm there's one of them in Hillsboro, Oregon. But, you know, it kind of makes me glad, too, that after the tragedy that was Walla Walla's aviary incident, that they were able to get new peacocks.
Were they?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good.
And I think they're specifically breeding in captivity now, so...
No, you don't need more. Let's let that settle in your tummy for a little bit.
So, like, when it comes time to breed them, they hatch them inside.
Good.
So that they're safe and stuff, I think.
Well, I thought their breeding program was all done inside that little building.
Well, I think they incubate inside, but then as soon as they hatch and are, like, kind of self-sufficient, then they put them out there. But they've started keeping them inside longer, too.
Gotcha.
And they have those little hatchery cages out right connected to the building.
Mm-hmm.
Then I've seen more and more birds out there too. So I think they're just thankfully taking that precaution to keep their birds as safe as they can for as long as they can. Because there's always going to be fucked up people that are going to fuck it up. But
Right. So just to kind of fill you guys in, what was it, 2019?
I think it was 19.
Yeah, because I think it was pre-COVID.
It was whatever. It was the same year that all the police protests were going down. So I want to say it was 19. It was the year after Mina was born.
Okay, so 2019. Some jackhole took it upon himself
Or themselves.
to well, I was going to say break into, but they didn't really break into it because it's an open setting.
Yeah, they cut the fence.
It's like within
To the aviary.
It's an aviary within a city park. So it's all open space.
Whee!
And obviously the birds are in individualized aviaries.
Not even. Well, they got the one big one. I think the ones that are attached to the building are just hatcheries.
Well, I mean, like, you go over there and there's like this breed of bird. You go there and it's a separate cage and it's that breed of bird.
It's not separate anymore. It's all one big thing now.
Okay. I haven't been there since.
Yeah. So anyway.
But
Sorry.
yeah, somebody decided that took it upon themselves and decided that some of the birds no longer deserved to be living and cut the wire on a bunch of the enclosures. And
There's Seahawks fans up there.
yep, there is a Seahawk fan up there. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, and I don't think I can zoom in before we pass it.
That's fine.
But you can see a number 12. You might be able to see the number 12 up there on the mountainside.
Little blue sign. But yeah, and it wasn't even like especially me being a true crime buff, you know when something is personal, because
Exactly.
personal crimes are very different than like revenge crimes, or even, this person or these people didn't just kill the birds, and they killed the birds and then they displayed them. They put them on display for the park goers to see. That is personal.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting.
And it's not a closed park, so there was children and families seeing these birds. I mean, they were on they put them up on the posts in the area. it's sick and it's disgusting. And they very specifically targeted the peacocks. And they took out the male peacock, the female peacock, all of the babies that they had hatched that year they'd killed, and they probably a good half of the ducks.
Yeah, and they're really, for a while there was some speculation that the cat killer in the Tri-Cities, they were speculating that it was the same person that went to Walland and did the aviary thing, but turned out to not be the case. Two separate sickos. But they were happening like almost at the exact same time as, and what was happening in the Tri-Cities is that people were finding
mutilated cats.
I'm trying to think of a tactful way of saying it. Like they were cut in half. And
Jesus, rope.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
We're almost off.
If I didn't have to go pee before. It was happening sporadically, and it happened for a couple weeks, and then there was some information came into the police department.
We definitely drove this way.
Of a suspect in the cat mutilations, and he was a person of interest, and they were trying to locate him. But he also had a warrant up for his arrest anyway for
because I remember the
violation of a protection order and stalking. That's a whole other mess. But the aviary thing happened while he was still out of custody and they were trying to find him. So because it was animal mutilation, there was a lot of speculation that it was the same person. But it was two separate sick individuals. And I don't know that the person that did the aviary, is he still incarcerated? Do you know?
I don't know. But I think Walla Walla was having a hard time looking inward, because that aviary incident happened within very close proximity of Officer Smalls being allowed to keep his job. But never once did they look at the anti-protesters over there.
Oh, gotcha. That's true.
And, nobody wants to point fingers. But I find it very odd that this officer was allowed to keep his job and then all of a sudden there was an attack on the aviary. That doesn't seem like a coincidence to me.
Yeah.
Because the aviary and Pioneer in general is Walla Walla's pride and joy.
Right.
What's the better way to hit them than to hit them where it hurts?
Yeah. And in the case with the cat mutilations, they stopped. He was incarcerated. They stopped, and they stopped briefly. There was a couple that came out while he was still incarcerated, but the police determined that it was a copycat. Oh, no pun intended there.
Copycat.
Because while it was still mutilations, it was different than the original one, so they determined it was somebody different. It was a different person doing it.
Just experimenting. Jeffrey Dahmer shit.
Well, maybe. And, there's some speculation that it was somebody, trying to redirect the police, that it wasn't this guy that was originally doing it. Because, look, he's in jail and they're still happening.
Yeah. Trying to clear this guy's name.
And this guy is, he is a twisted human being. Scary. He needs to be, in an inpatient facility for the rest of his life.
Well,
Scary.
and it's very possible, because that's exactly how Jeffrey Dahmer started out.
And he may end up that way. He was arrested on this. Oh, somebody got pulled over. I guess I better not be cocky, because it might be a snack.
I was going to say, remember what happened last time? I think he's helping them.
Oh, how nice. You see the officers on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Helping. That is awesome. But this guy had multiple protection orders and stalking charges from his ex-girlfriend. And he was going out of his way to contact her, was making Facebook posts, was contacting people on Facebook.
Oh, that's why we were going so slow.
Yeah, stuck behind military trucks. Go figure. And so, I mean, there were some death threats made to her. Oh, look, convoy.
Ah, we were right.
Right lane closed ahead.
Yeah, I'm just sorry, rumble strips, but I was really trying to get around those people. Are they gonna let me exit? They should. There's no way they can't let me exit, right?
Right.
Okay.
He was finally when they finally caught him and arrested him, and he's been in jail, at our local county jail, God, for probably a year, maybe a little bit more.
Exit 11. Okay.
I don't know that he was ever charged officially with the cat mutilation stuff. But the main reason that he was the person of interest and the primary suspect in that was because the very first cat that was found was stuffed in the power box at the ex-girlfriend's apartment complex. Yeah. So that was
that connection was made.
Yeah, that was how that first connection. And then another one was found at her place of employment that he was not even supposed
Sorry,
to...
it sounded like my car farted.
It does sound like your car's got gas bubbles. He wasn't even supposed to know where she works.
Yeah.
Again, she's got these restraining orders against him.
This better be the turn, because it's not giving me much details.
It doesn't look like it.
It said exit 11.
Oh, okay.
161st Street. Okay. No, 156. There's no 156! This definitely was not the right turn. But, yo, GPS, where you at? Oh, I'm so confused. I don't even know if I can turn here. I'm gonna.
Yeah. We can
Oh,
turn,
left turn yield.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just follow the GPS and let it redirect. Let it redirect
Well,
us.
because it's telling me that this GPS is so confusing. Well, it's not confusing. It's slow. See? Because it showed me way back here.
That's all right. We'll just take a little tour of Bellevue.
We did want to see what was around, right?
Oh, but look how pretty this is through here.
Yes, it's gorgeous, and I should probably slow down because I highly doubt that it's 30 through here.
And it's a residential area, so probably not. Who knows where we're going, though? Well, hey, go to the playground.
Apparently, the GPS doesn't know where we're going either.
I want to go to the playground.
That's cool. I want to get somewhere where I can pee.
I know, I get a potty too. A damn road, man. It jiggled every drop of fluid down into my bladder.
Yeah, it did. We're not. What? We can look into it later, okay?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Ooh, that's a big speed bump. Oof. Okay, so you're going to turn left on Southeast 24th.
Is it going to tell me before I turn? It showed me way back here, and it's like turn, and I'm like,
yeah, the little red arrow was like 2 blocks behind where she was supposed to turn, where it told her to turn. But then as we passed it, it was like, you've missed your turn.
Yeah.
Stupid navigation. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Now go right? No.
Now go left.
No, I gotta go forward a few hundred more feet, apparently. I can stretch my back while I'm looking for cars.
This is the wet side of Washington. Isn't it? Look how green. Even though it's fall.
Apparently we were in a school zone. It didn't warn us. This is a pretty road right here. Hey!
Stop saying that.
You said it first.
So you're going to curve to the right on 22nd place.
This car is so hard to keep at below 30.
That's why I always had the damn cruise control set, even when I was only doing 35.
But it doesn't set under 30 though. Like if you're only doing 25, you can't set the thing.
Oh, these monster speed bumps. Damn it.
Phantom Lake Bath and Tennis Club.
I see the pumpkins. Oh,
So
Phantom Lake.
22nd place, southeast 22nd.
So it doesn't look like you turn. It looks like the road just goes. Oh, well, maybe you do a kind of sort of turn.
It's a roller coaster, Mina.
Whee!
That's a steep ass hill. Jeez.
I'm gonna guess that this is 22nd.
Yep. Yes. And I think I.
Oh, whoa! What the fuck
I
kind
think
of
I got scared.
What the fuck kind of intersection is this? I think you go that way.
Yeah, where that school bus is.
But wait, this is like a 5-way stop. Who the hell has the right of way when there's 5 stop signs?
I don't know. I just inched my way, and if nobody stopped, I would have stopped. But I was just inching my way through.
Holy shit! I have never seen an intersection like that before.
Making my way downtown, pissing my pants.
That was insanity.
I did not like that. See, and we have one like that in Walla Walla, but it's got a stoplight, so we never have to deal with that. That one down Main Street by where I used to work. But no, they blessed us with a stoplight.
Yeah.
That was insane. No, I didn't like that.
I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know who goes first. Who has the right of way here?
148.
I don't remember ever seeing a 5-way stop
Don't you fucking pull out in front of me. Totally was gonna pull out in front of me.
in the rule book. Oh, there's a school.
Guess we'll slow down.
No wonder
That's
there's
gonna
a school
turn-
down this.
Okay. I thought it was gonna turn red, but
Oof.
Halloween on the Hill. Saturday, October 29th.
Well, we're only 3 minutes away from our B&B, but we don't get to check in for another 45 minutes.
What? Go see the animals. What animals, babe?
Left on 8th.
Honey, you know we're not at Point Defiance, right? Yeah, but we're not at the zoo, honey.
Tigers, cows, and kitty cats. Daddy, Grandma, Mom.
What, bub? There's not a zoo here, babe. Gears stop turning. Full stop. I can't.
The light was red.
If I go, we're gonna go right into the back of that car.
Oh.
Housekeeping.
I'm gonna have to draw a picture and send it to your dad and be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How does this, how?
Just send a picture. Ew.
Huh?
You gotta send him a picture with just the noise.
Please explain.
The fuck?
What kind of drugs was this person taking when they designed this freaking intersection? Okay? There's your left. And are you noticing that there is like nothing around here to go potty?
There's a.
Looks like a nice place to go walking.
I know. I was gonna say there's a pretty park, but what?
Lake Hills.
I can't hear you. There are no animals, babe. I don't know what you want me to do.
No, horses are animals.
Oh, wait, I know horses are animals, but there's no horses either. Oh, yes, there's horses at my house.
We can't drive all the way back to see Allison's horses, though. Where am I turning? 100. There's 146th. We need 145th. That one.
And is the destination on the right or on the left?
I don't know, because apparently the GPS can't figure it out. It's got a cute little balcony. That's all I remember about it.
908.
I can't see. Pick a number.
Oh, right
908.
there. I'm like, where's the damn
Hey.
numbers?
Oh, it must be the back. I'm dumb.
Yeah. Okay, now let's go find a place to potty. It's got to pee. Find me a bathroom.
Might be able to.
You're supposed to be able to, but I don't know if...
I'm gonna pull over right in front of these random strangers' houses.
I don't know if it'll do it with the nav on.
I don't think I can.
Oh, you have to go that way.
I was gonna say I don't think I can park here, but I think they'd rather me park somewhere I'm not supposed to park than
Oh, look, we're back into a school zone.
trying to do this while driving.
That way Mina can... Look, Mina, look.
Dragon!
Dragons!
They have 3 heads.
It's got 3 heads?
Fuck it, we'll go to fuel stations, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah, they have bathrooms. 145th. That's like right here. Because that's the street we're on, right?
Well, back there was 145th. We'll probably have to go around a block.
Set a destination for something that's 0.2 miles away.
Okay, so you're going to go straight. Well, you're going to go forward.
Tried to avoid the clusterfuck that is my daughter's school, and I ended up in somebody else's clusterfuck.
Yeah, what the... Y'all seeing this shit in front of us?
You're the shit.
You're the shit. Thanks.
What the...
What?
I don't know. Oh, my parking lot was bad.
I bet this is a no parking zone.
Don't you swear to fight me. I will get out of this damn car and I will start a fight.
It'd be nice to know what road we're supposed to be turning on. Are these roads really just this narrow?
Though I don't think they're supposed to be parking there.
Okay, that's what I was initially thinking when I said I don't think these are parking zones. No parking, stopping, or standing.
Yeah.
As I park under a no parking sign.
And fucking pull out in front of me without even batting an eyelash.
I think this is the road we turn left on.
The one at the stop sign, I think.
Yes.
145th. Yep. Weren't we just on 145th? When did it become this street?
I don't know.
There's literally a crosswalk 10 feet away from you. Just... This is why I don't leave my house, I'm just saying. I don't have to deal with idiots in my house. As much. As much. The husband still cuts me off in the hallway.
That's funny.
That drives me crazy all the time at Emma's school, too. It's like my car is moving,
You're crazy.
and you're going to walk out in front of me.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
The amount of people at that... Why are we not going?
You're crazy.
There was plenty of...
What?
You're not crazy.
Yes,
You
Mina's
couldn't go
crazy.
when there was a clearing, but you're going to go when there's a car right there. People are stupid.
You're crazy. No, I'm not.
I don't think you're helping your case, bub.
Especially considering she's like talking to herself.
Sorry, I got really warm all of a sudden.
You're crazy. No, I'm not.
Mina!
What?
Stop, please.
No.
Yes.
Just say
Yeah, but it's really obnoxious, babe.
So she gave me her fruit by the foot wrapper, and I folded it all up and kind of, back and forth and zigzaggy and...
Oh, jeez, I'm stuck. Come on, please, before the bus moves. Oh, that's a steep hill, jeez.
And turn it into a little journal.
Oh.
A little flippy journal.
And it smells good. What? What?
Not right now. We're trying to get to a potty.
Did we get little cookies? Oh, yeah, we did. Duh. The not sugar cookies. It's like, what little cookies did she buy?
I didn't buy no little cookies.
I like cookies.
Has anybody seen chocolate sugar cookies before?
I definitely haven't.
I know I haven't. So
I always, maybe it's a thing and we just didn't know about it. But the only sugar cookie I've ever known are white. Because they're sugar.
Yeah. Vanilla. I'm not a big sugar cookie fan. I never have been.
Oh, sugar cookies are my favorite.
Not me. I think they're bland.
Lights green!
There's a bus.
Of course there is.
A school bus with its door open. It's like either load or unload, whatever you're doing up there.
Oh, two different songs.
Silly.
You're silly.
No, just looking them up.
I'm about to go and knock on one of these damn apartments.
You're silly.
Can I use your body? The school bus has got me stuck in traffic. I'm not sure what the school bus is doing. They literally have their little whip doors open.
There's nobody.
Oh, finally, people are coming off the bus.
You can't do that, bro.
And those are not kids. Those are maybe an alternative school. I'm like, one person came off carrying a baby.
Call it?
It's these two people right here that just got off that school bus.
I don't know. Maybe they got like fully on the bus to pick up their kid or something.
Maybe.
And we just missed them getting on the bus.
Possibly. I'm like,
God damn it, I was looking at the Arco. I hate this town. I don't even know. What is an Arco? Is it like a convenience?
it's a gas station usually.
Oh, okay.
Gas station with a convenience store.
Well, I mean, that would be all right as long as they have, then worst case scenario, we walked across the street to the Shell. Okay, I see a gas sign, so clearly it's a gas station.
Yeah.
Green light. Red light. Green light.
Yes, and I say they don't always, but
What the fuck? I hate this town!
and the entrance is closed. Crapola.
Congratulations, random ass people. You get a random ass car and your random ass driveway that's 45 freaking degrees. I hate this town. I hate whoever built this town. Let me put it that way.
We haven't even been there that long, and we already hate it.
Okay, well, they can just... God, this takes me back to Issaquampton.
Yup.
Stupid fucking carports. That nobody ever fit in, and everybody parked wherever the hell they wanted to, even though you had assigned spaces. Oh, shut up.
It's a curb.
Beep, 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 beep. Trust me, I'll know it's there when I go...
How about we just go through the light?
and go to the Shell.
Because with the driveway being all dug up, I'm not super fully confident that they're open.
Don't seem to really sketchy.
And with our luck, we'll go around the block to find another entrance just to find out that the Arco was closed.
That fucking axe murderer is gonna sell me my gas.
Well, the gas pumps are working, so
We're gonna go to Shell.
the lights are open. But, we've already had to turn around. So rather than trying to find another entrance, we'll just go through and in.
Where are you going, bud? I can't even go. I'm not pushing the brake right now. If you could see over the dashboard, you'd probably take off sooner. Person's shorter than me. What the fuck are you doing, bro? I don't really need gas, so I'm gonna come park over here. away from people. And if anybody parks next to me,
Well, they might have to because there's not a whole lot of parking.
they can park over there. They can park over there. I don't want to deal with them. They can park over there. This is my parking lot now.
Tikka masala, exotic Indian cuisine. All right, guys. So we are here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn you off. We're gonna go in and go pate.
Are you suggesting? Are you suggesting you turned them on first?
And catch a juice box in the process.
Do my juice box.
Watch for future recordings.
Say it, Mina. Like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
And
And
What else?
hit the camera, hit the bell.
There you go.